Business Studios, 97.5, The Fanatic. Now it's time to wake up. Kincade and Salciunas is on the air.
Today's talk show for your morning drive.
I don't think we're going to see Zach Wheeler again in 2025. That's my guess. And if that's the case, I'm sorry. They're not going to win anything. They got no shot.
There's not a lot of reason to believe. Zach Wheeler being gone, he's honestly your number one reason to believe in this team.
Like, this is crushing to me.
Broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Still crushing, but at least the offense crushed the Mariners last night. How about that? Phillies win 12-7 in game one of their series against the Seattle Mariners. Good Tuesday morning. Johnny, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Last night did a lot to just sort of, I think, make people put a smile on their face a little bit.
Yes.
Saying that there is potential for this lineup to get hot for shorter periods of time. But in a playoff series, you get hot for a week, it can carry you. And then maybe in the next series, maybe the pitching gets hot.
That would be great.
You never know.
That would be great.
It was exciting, and I really do believe that the good news earlier in the day, at least of a successful procedure, at least takes the Zach Wheeler being at risk of his life.
Right.
Off the board, which I think was the most important thing of the whole day.
Right. So Phil's win last night, 12-7. Ranger Suarez, by the way, was spectacular yesterday. 6 2/3, 10 strikeouts, 2 earned runs on 4 hits. The one of the earned runs came on the Jordan Romano, stop if you heard this before, home run that he gave up. He comes into the game, and now all of a sudden you're looking like, wait a minute. Are we going to have to go to Duran at some point today? Are we really going to have to go to Kerkering and a bunch of the other guys from the bullpen? And they did have to go to Kerkering because he was already warmed up after the Phillies were able to tack on a few runs after the Romano inning.
Very good.
And then Nolan Hoffman, not the Hoffman anybody wanted to see back in the Phillies uniform.
Yeah, they got the
year.
wrong Hoffman.
He had a bit of an implosion in the ninth inning, but they had a big cushion at that point.
Okay, now Hoffman, a guy who obviously not ready for prime time, right? Last night was not ready for the moment.
Yeah,
but they needed him. But still better than Andrew Painter, who everybody's begging to get up here against AAA batters. Just be careful what everybody. I heard everybody yesterday. I heard Andrew Painter's name on this radio station at least 20 times yesterday.
Sure, what did Andrew Painter have to do with Nolan Hoffman?
No, what I'm saying is everybody's begging for Andrew Painter to come up. Throw Painter in here. Get Painter up here. And I'm like, Hoffman just got trashed last night.
They're not remotely the same guy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, one's better at AAA.
Nolan Hoffman's 28 years old.
I understand,
that was his first outing in his career.
I understand, but one's better at AAA against AAA batters. I'm just saying to you, I don't want. I heard yesterday a lot of in the midst of the Zach Wheeler conversation. Let's just bring Painter up. Let him do it. I want to protect Painter. I don't want Painter being trashed mentally.
Okay.
I just don't want that to be a case.
I was just surprised by the Andrew Painter out of nowhere.
Well, you saw it last night. You saw it last night. You throw a guy who's not ready for the stage.
No, I don't think he's not ready. I don't think he's a major league pitcher. He's 28 years old. It's like Weston Wilson of arms. You know,
Weston Wilson, when he comes up, Weston Wilson comes up and he's okay.
All right, sure. Nolan Hoffman, they used him as a body yesterday. But the Phillies end up getting the win, and that's exciting, considering yesterday being a pretty tough day doing the show. So that leads me to a question and a topic for our audience today, Johnny. It's about who you are as a fan. So when stuff like this happens with Zach Wheeler, I've noticed over the years that when something really bad happens, because let's face it, the Zach Wheeler news was really bad in terms of him as a human, but also in terms of their chances of winning something. Because without Zach Wheeler, you heard it in the intro, I think they have no shot of winning a damn thing. When I say that, there are people that come out and I think take the overly positive stance and say, whoa, hold on a second. Nola's coming back. Andrew Painter is available in AAA. Christopher Sanchez is pitching like an ace. This lineup can get really hot. You brought in Duran for a reason. It's made the rest of the bullpen better. Why are you so negative? On the flip side, last year when the Eagles are 14-3 and making a run to the Super Bowl, you have the people that do I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is great, but when are the Eagles going to get hurt like the Lions? When is this going to go wrong? When is that going to go wrong? It sort of stems from the Negadelphian conversation and the Posidelphian conversation. But why are people that way? Is it because they don't want to admit that something is really bad? Is it that there are people that try to control themselves from maybe feeling emotional that if things are good, they go bad? Like, the psyche of the sports fan confuses me sometimes, Johnny.
I think there are a lot of people who what happens with the sports team affects their life way too much. Their personal life. Now, look, it's entertainment. It's absolutely entertainment. And is life better when the Eagles win? Sure it is.
Hell yeah.
I have a lot more fun. I have a lot more fun on my Sunday afternoons, have a lot more fun on my Monday through Fridays with you.
Hell yeah.
But there are people who let it affect their personal lives. It affects their moods. It affects I've worked with them. I've worked with people in sports business that, like, come in grumpy, don't talk to people day after losses, stomp around. And honestly, I look at it as the most childish thing in the world. I don't understand it. Like, something that doesn't affect me that way, I can't figure out. I think there's a lot of people who are affected that way. I think there's a lot of people who a loss of their sports team can spiral them.
Sure.
And so when they're invested that much, if something bad happens, it can spiral them. So they don't want to hear anything that it's like, I don't want to hear that the Phillies aren't going to the World Series because I've already set my mind up to it. And I sort of look at that as sad.
Yeah, but it's not just that way. It's also the people that are like, I don't want to hear that things are good. Like, I refuse to admit that this baseball team is good or that football team is good.
Well, there's a lot of that, though, comes from people who were raised by people that were my parents' generation.
Sure.
I don't fall into that. Like, it doesn't, I wasn't. I think, I don't know why I didn't get poisoned by that, but a lot of people that I know of my age group absolutely did.
Everybody stinks.
That everybody. No, I think it's that they don't want to be crushed. They believed so many times and then got kicked in the beanbag that they don't want to believe because it hurts them to believe it. I was definitely raised that way. I was definitely raised, and I rejected it. I just reject that mindset.
Sure.
I reject the mindset. Now, I can tell you this, though. It skipped a generation because my child definitely has that, like, I don't want to believe that things are going to be great. She absolutely has a little bit of that, and I don't know if it's just she has it in the DNA or whatever. She's not.
Now,
I'm very optimistic.
Is that all her friends, or is that just her? Because I also see a lot of young. I get pushback from a lot of younger listeners, which we appreciate, right? Every age of every listener.
Sure.
I get a lot of pushback anytime I'm somewhat critical. I go on their profile picture. They're in their early 20s, mid 20s, and it's more so, hey, I still believe that this could go right. This could go right. This could go right.
Now the weird thing is with her, and I think her friends, they tend to be more critical, which is strange. Now that's 21. They're like a 20, 21 group. They tend to be more critical. Watching a game with them, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm watching a game with my parent, with my dad again.
Right.
With like picking things apart more than finding the positive.
Interesting.
Which is strange.
I'm curious. I want to hear from people today at 610-632-0975. Look, we have a lot of things that we're going to react to, like the Phillies game last night, training camp yesterday, maybe some positions starting to get solidified yesterday, according to some of the reports from the people that are at training camp. There's a lot to get into, but sort of a overall discussion that we would like to have with you. Who are you? Are you the fan that when things look bad, you're the overly positive person? Or are you when things look good, you're the overly negative person? So
what would you think the scale is in our fan base?
Right now,
instinct.
I think right now when things are going poorly, there are people that want to be the positive fan. They want to do the reverse.
So you think it's more swaying that way?
I do believe that.
The irrational positive over irrational negative.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
No,
I don't know what's good. I don't know what's bad.
I'd rather have an irrational positive fan base any day.
Right.
I don't buy it, though.
So this also means that when things are bad, if you're the person that's overly negative when things are good, that means you pile on when things are bad.
Oh, yeah.
So are you more of the positive fan or the negative fan? Who are you and why? What made you that way? Because clearly everybody stems from something, whether it's who you were raised by and you followed their footsteps, or you wanted to be the complete opposite. I have a theory on just that, Johnny, coming up next.
Interesting.
It is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day because you keep hearing
This hour of
6:15.
Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
I'm clicking on
good
all
today?
cylinders
Are you all right
today.
here?
No, I just got thrown off by Jeff Hoffman, fake Jeff Hoffman, being compared to Andrew Painter. I think I've been thrown off the entire show.
What about
Why was
Dustin
that?
Hoffman?
He wasn't compared to him. Why are you so distracted? And more importantly, chill out. Freaking chill out.
You threw me off.
Chill out.
I'm all thrown off.
For God's sakes. Are you Andrew Painter's father? Chill out.
I mean, we do share the same first name.
You do. So that could be. Just relax. Everything's fine.
I'm not nervous.
It's okay.
I was just confused.
It's okay.
That's all. I was just
No
really
reason to throw
confused.
you off.
I was thrown off. I was
Just
thrown
chill.
for a loop, man. Anyways, so the mentality of the sports fan. I have a theory, and I've expressed this theory on this station before. First came up with it when I was working with Ant in the midday. So you said you rejected that negative mentality from your father.
And my uncles and the family tree. It was rampant.
I believe you were one generation ahead because that is literally my theory. It's amazing that you said that. I've said it on the air before, that I believe there are a lot of people my age or slightly above
Okay.
that wanted to be the opposite of their parents. And I think it's even more so the generation behind Connor and I, because they hear all the stories. How tired are you of hearing about snowballs at Santa Claus, which took place how many years ago?
How about snowballs at Santa Claus happened before my 3rd birthday?
Yeah.
Like take a good look, YouTube.
Yeah.
Before my 3rd birthday. And that story still proliferates sports talk radio.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
How many times have you heard stories about laughing, cheering when Michael Irvin was hurt, even though part of the story was Deion Sanders was, dancing and people were booing him? You're tired of hearing those stories about why Philadelphia fans are so nasty. Now, look, there are bad eggs still in this town.
There's a bunch of it that's earned.
Just like there's a bunch of bad eggs anywhere else, right? So my theory is exactly what you said you did with rejecting your father's mentality of being a sports fan. I just think you were a generation ahead, and I think the generation behind Connor and I do that for the sake of this city.
Okay, but what I tell you is that I think that it is weird, and I think that might be good. The idea is that I think that I know a lot of young people that sort of are bringing it back. As I said with Leg Lives Group, they're very quick to think the sky's falling.
Which, by the way,
I don't understand.
I'm okay with a bit of a swing. It just has to be in the middle. Like, it's like politics for me. I'm a middleman.
Right.
All right? Let me hear what you're going to do for this country. And I will vote for one side or I will vote for the other. I do not stand in one side of the political spectrum, right?
Right. We don't
When it comes to fandom, if I'm worried about something, I will tell you what I'm worried about. If I'm confident and chesty about something, I will be chesty Chunas, right? It's how I go about life. I feel like that should be how everybody goes about life.
I think you bring it up perfectly because that is absolutely why I refuse, and what's one of the things which is good with us, why you refuse to stay away from topics like that. There are topics in society where people are just, nope, I'm right, you're wrong. There's nothing about your position that could possibly be right.
Right.
I'm not listening. And I think with sports, a lot of people are that way.
Yeah,
a lot of people are that
absolutely.
way. And they think something. I'm willing to, it's so weird is that I could say 5 positive things about Rob Thompson. And I have my 2, diehard things that I don't like about Rob Thompson. And Kevin will say to me, you hate Rob Thompson. Nope. I can say to you all the things that I like about Rob Thompson. But you just focus on what I hate about him. And by the way, what I hate about his job performance, it's pretty well documented that it's valid.
Right.
And so that's the kind of thing that people listen for what they want to listen for. They don't listen for reality. And the thing is, we all do it in our lives in different ways.
Sure.
And different topics.
But sometimes
too.
not just listening, it's preaching. There
Right.
are people that preach
Absolutely.
what they believe in and will ignore
No question.
what somebody else. It's like
No
it's
question.
like the Zach Wheeler thing yesterday. I was in a really bad way yesterday, and I still am. Yesterday was a fun game. Last night was really fun. I still think if Zach Wheeler can't pitch in the playoffs, that it's over. And as soon as I say that, you get the.
How about severely unlikely?
I think no chance. I'm sorry. I will say that I don't think they have a chance of winning the World Series.
Even with everything you've seen in sports, everything you've seen in baseball of all sports, being the most likely thing where you've seen unlikely champions, baseball, and you just say, nope, there's no chance in the world.
Well, because to me, the one true strength of this team was the rotation. When you lose your ace, I can't.
No, I got you. You've just seen so many unlikely champions in baseball.
Look, once first pitch starts, I'm snapping into fandom mode and I'm going to be yelling and screaming.
Oh, I know.
But I don't feel great.
No. You not feeling great, I can deal with. You being like, I don't think there's zero chance. I'm not used to zero chance, Andrew.
I know.
That's
sorry.
not you.
I know. I'm more so on the opposite side.
Connor and I are not going to deal with that well.
Yeah,
right,
man.
Ed?
I'm over here at 99%. I need you to get on my level.
All right, coming up next.
Maybe 5.
Speaking of Zach Wheeler, we will update you on Zach Wheeler and the state of the Phillies. Also, a return of a fan favorite or maybe a former fan favorite, depending on how you look at it. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phil's offense stays hot at home. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies offense, they kept it going last night in Game 1 against the Mariners, a 12-7 win. They also totaled 21 hits, including Bryce Harper's 2 monster home runs and Trey Turner's first home run at the bank. Turner, who had 4 hits in the game, talked after about the team stepping up in the absence of Zach Wheeler.
Definitely going to hurt a little bit and feel it a little bit in here, but we don't have to rely on one person. We can all step up a little bit, and we can all play a little better defense. We can all pitch a little better. We can all hit a little better and play as a team. And I think if we all pick up a little bit of slack, I think we can get the job done.
Well, they certainly got the job done last night. Speaking of Zach Wheeler, he underwent a successful thrombolysis procedure yesterday to remove his blood clot. Still no timetable for his potential return. Phils play the Mariners again tonight at 6:45. Christopher Sanchez on the mound against Bryce Miller. Jose Alvarado is also eligible to return from his PED suspension today. The Eagles are preparing for their final preseason game against the Jets this Friday at 7:30 p.m. We're also officially a week away from the 53-day-man roster cut down. So that'll have to be finalized before the season. Kevin Patulo, the offense coordinator, talks at 9:40. Jeff McLane joins us coming up at 8:25. Greg Caserta at 8:55. This update's brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Eagles up.
7 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. So some updates for you when it comes to the Philadelphia Phillies. Give you that in a second. But one of the other things when it comes to the mentality of a sports fan, when things go really, really well, there are some fans in this city that feel the need to be the contrarian when it comes to the negative side of things, and always has to do, well, the other shoe is going to drop at some point. And then, even though contrarian is always considered a negative term, there's also the person that goes the opposite. When things look really bleak, it's don't worry. Things can still work out. And I think that is a beautiful way to have the outlook of life in general. And of course, there's also a reason why people have that outlook in the city specifically. I see on our YouTube chat, good morning, YouTube, as always,
Good morning.
Trevor Rice checks in.
What's up, Trevor?
Weren't we literally here in 2017? Eagles no chance without C-Dub, he calls him. I've never heard anybody call Carson Wentz C-Dub.
Carson Wentz never deserved the nickname.
And then he says, along comes BDN. And look, you're right. Like, we saw it in this city not long ago that a backup was able to win a Super Bowl. It's like why our conversations with Tanner McKee happened last week, right? Because what if Jalen Hurts were to get hurt? You want to have a good backup because we saw a backup literally win a Super Bowl here. I understand that people have seen it, so it is real life. It is not a Disney movie. It is not Harry Potter. It is real. That happened.
It's rare.
I just don't believe the likelihood of that happening again is anytime soon.
It's rare, but it happens.
Right.
And it's happened. But baseball is by far the most likely sport for a unlikely champion. It is the most random of the playoffs. And just a few weeks ago, Jason Stark with
more so than hockey, you think,
show.
still?
No, very random. Like, very random. Baseball has very random, like, the playoffs don't tend to.
Sure. I thought it was
Don't
hockey
tend to
kind of
follow.
like that way,
Hockey,
too.
no, hockey, you can get a hot goalie.
Yeah.
They just
That
had
could carry.
back-to-back the exact same matchup in the Stanley Cup
Yeah.
Finals.
I mean,
I
you
got
can
you.
get it
But
is
typically.
baseball tends to be the one where you just see weird things happen in baseball and
Because bats
unlikely
can go
teams
cold.
win. Yeah. Unlikely teams. Teams get hot. Unlikely teams win. So we'll see. I mean, it's I just can't. It's weird is that I can't deal with with you
Sorry.
being I'm done. And it's weird because I don't
Well, it's not
know.
that I'm done.
No, it's that you think they're done.
Correct.
No, so you're done then. You're saying it's over. I've turned the page. This season's over. I've turned the page. I don't believe they
Well,
can
it
do
sounds
anything.
like I'm not going to watch. Which
No, it
I
doesn't.
am
I'm not
night
saying
in,
that.
night
I'm not
out.
saying you're not going to. I know you're going to watch, but you're done. You're done believing. That to me, I can't deal
That
with that.
sucks.
Because to me, you are somebody who I think you and Connor, both more than me, have a very childlike, at times, fandom. Like, you want to believe. You want to have that childlike enjoyment. It's very odd for me to see you like that, and I don't want to see you like that. I can't deal with it, so I need you to snap out of it. And I need the fan base to either get you to snap out of it or do something. Because I don't dig it. I don't dig it.
Strong chance that doesn't happen, considering
Oh,
I
no.
kind of hated this team all season long.
Yeah, well, that sort of helps.
I haven't really.
Hey, wait, whoa,
I haven't
whoa.
really hid that.
Wait a minute. This whole city, if we took Truth Serum, this whole city hated the 2022 Phillies
That's a good point.
till September.
Right.
Hated them. And remember, they backed into the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
If the Milwaukee Brewers didn't lose 8 of 12, they don't even make the playoffs.
I remember people doing when doing the show, people saying I'd rather them not even make the playoffs because what's the point? I remember that.
They were a miserable bunch of guys,
yeah.
too.
Not in September.
weren't-
It was
they
more
were
so-
not even
It was more
pleasant.
so October when people started liking that team.
And then it came together. That stupid song.
All right, so some updates for you. Zach Wheeler got his procedure yesterday, and
They blasted it out, which is great.
Like that's great, and they're not ruling out a potential return, likelihood of a return. I still don't buy it.
Its likelihood of return is still not there.
Like I saw Dr. Chow on Twitter yesterday saying like this is great news for him, but like I don't expect to see him.
No,
this season.
Because what they're going to do is that they're going to have him on blood thinners, because the common procedure after this is to have you on blood thinners so you do not form another clot quickly.
Right. His full
So they make
tweet.
sure.
His full tweet. Glad to see he got quick treatment. The key now is finding the cause. Return in 3 months is considered quick.
Most of the time,
so
a
3 months
pinch-
is November.
Yeah, it's like a pinch, a kink up there, and you got to be, and there may need, and still, the procedure yesterday does not tell you that they don't potentially need surgery later
Correct.
to fix whatever caused it.
Right. Exactly.
So this is just to save his life and to make sure that we don't have any terrible things happen to Zach Wheeler.
Right.
Which was the bottom line of the entire show yesterday.
By the way, I just want to point this out. I thought it was beautiful. Jacob Wheeler is the brother of Zach Wheeler.
Yep.
Did not know that, right? Like, I'm not somebody. Our old buddy Jamie Lynch follows like all the family members of every athlete that's ever played in Philadelphia.
Little creepy to me.
Definitely
I
little
don't.
creepy.
I think it's strange.
I didn't know that Zach Wheeler had a brother named Jacob who was a poet/artist living in Florida. I didn't know that. So he puts out a tweet yesterday. Jacob, shout out to all the Phillies fans and baseball fans who've shown their support of my brother and family. So many messages have poured in that I'm not able to get to them all. All have been so supportive and positive. Phillies fans are truly family first, and it shows. Thank you. I think that's beautiful.
It's a great message to the baseball community and to fans.
Yeah, that look, we care, and it goes beyond Zach Wheeler himself. It goes also toward family members. So I thought that was really cool to see that on social media yesterday. The other update: Jose Alvarado returns today. He was at Citizens Bank Park yesterday, eligible to return today.
Yay!
Hey, you need him for a push to the playoffs.
Now you see, to me, this is one where I'm like, that I could be more. Is like, yay, help them. Yeah, help them get to the playoffs, and then
Yeah, look, I'm still angry with him.
and then get out, and then just get out, clean up. Much like you did the night that you found out that you had got caught cheating, and you snuck out like a thief in the night. Pack your bag and go.
People are going to love him being back today, though. He's going to get
Well,
a
you want him to win.
huge ovation.
You think so, eh?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of people on social media. I've seen this, and I'm curious. I would like to talk to people about this. So 610-632-0975. You can text and you can call in. When things are bad, why do you feel the need to be overly positive? When things are good, why do you need to feel the need to be overly negative? If I'm talking to you, you know who I'm talking about. Let us know at 610-632-0975. I've seen a lot of this recently on social media.
What's that?
John. Well, I understand why he's suspended, but now that he's back, why shouldn't he be eligible for the playoffs? This is a dumb rule.
Because he cheated.
Right, but the point I'm trying to make is there are more people upset with the sport of baseball or with the rules of baseball than with Alvarado himself.
What?
And I wonder why that is the
What
case.
in the world? I seriously, I don't get it. It's, again, there are people who just don't think there should be rules. You should be able to cheat. Yeah, it should be all right. He's just cheating. It's okay. He should still be able to do that.
But what they'll tell you is, all right, he served his suspension. He should be able to now pitch in the playoffs.
No, but the team can't benefit from him being a cheater.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Look, I agree with you, and I'm fine with the rule. If anything, turn your attention to Jose Alvarado and not to Rob Manfred and the rule makers of Major League Baseball. But there are people that do that. They're more upset with the rule than Alvarado himself, and I'm curious as to why that is.
I don't get it.
And so I'm curious what the reaction will be tonight if he gets called upon. If you hear Dan Baker say, now pitching for the Phillies, what's that reaction for Jose Alvarado tonight?
I wonder if it'll be mixed. Because I can tell you the reaction seems to be at least mixed at the time from his own clubhouse when he left.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't know how he fixed it.
Yep. All right.
I'll be down tomorrow.
A lot of topics to start the show, Phillies related and sports in general, and your fandom at 610-632-0975. We check our text line next here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid. So why should
Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Get back to our text messages, or get to our text messages for the first time this morning, as we have a lot of topics on the table for you guys today. We started off with trying to figure out the psyche of the Philadelphia sports fan. And I'm talking to you one way or another because you are one of these two fans. Or maybe you might be like John and I, who try to be in the middle at all times. When things are going really well, why do you feel the need to wait for the other shoe to drop? When things are going very poorly or there's bad news, why do you feel the need to go the opposite and try to uplift people? And I think that's beautiful. I just wonder what led to somebody being that fan.
Do you think they're trying to uplift people? I don't. You're making it sound altruistic. I don't think they're trying to. I think they're trying to talk themselves into it.
That could be it too.
I don't think they're trying to be altruistic and they're looking out for people and saying, let me find a way to make other people feel good.
When the Wheeler news came out, I put out a tweet about it and how bummed out I was. And somebody responded with, but don't worry, Nola's coming back. And not in a sarcastic way. They were like, Nola's coming back.
And by the way,
that should fire you up.
And I was excited for Nola to be back.
And I was not. So maybe maybe that adds to my worries.
Yeah, I was.
And then I saw him give up 6 runs throwing 87 miles per hour. So that kind of added to my
yeah, I was.
my fear.
I
Not
was.
great.
That probably wasn't. Yeah, it was. No, it was terrible. That was a terrible.
Not great at all.
What I'll say is I do have other people in mind when I get the criticism for overly positive. Now, part of that is what we do, because I think the main thing that we exist for in this medium is to help people enjoy sports more. And I think part of that is being positive when it's right to be positive. Now, sometimes you can go too far with that positivity. And this would be a situation where if I was to tell people everything's fine with Zach Wheeler, that would be wrong.
Yeah.
But I do think some people do have other people in mind when they do that.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand that mentality.
Like yesterday, we had a guy text into the show saying, Andrew and John don't know what they're talking about. They're not doctors.
And then I watched 3 doctors yesterday who pretty much just said exactly what I had read.
And to me, that's almost like you're just being naive that
Because they're not doctors either.
Right, but like, was that guy trying to be positive, or was that guy just trying to take a shot at us? Like, I don't know what it was, but when a guy has a blood clot, I assume that he's done for the season. Forgive me for assuming that.
Yeah, because it's really dangerous. And you're not allowed to pitch on blood thinners.
Yeah.
And it takes a while you don't just go, I'm stopping blood thinners on Saturday, and now I'm back to pitching on Sunday. That's not how it works. You have to be weaned off, and then they have to watch you after blood thinners, because after blood thinners, you have a much higher risk of getting a clot.
Right.
It's scary.
By the way, just to put this in perspective, I did not realize this.
What's that?
Weston Wilson once dealt with a blood clot when he was still in the minor leagues. In 2021, his season ended in August with a blood clot.
Where was it? Does it say?
In his shoulder.
Okay.
And then he returned the following year in April in 2022.
Yeah.
But his season
Not
ended
a pitcher, but
in
still.
August. I mean, still, I imagine it's the
It's a
same
risk.
thing with the blood thinners.
As long as the thing is, though, they went in and blasted that thing yesterday. Because, I mean, that's good. But, I watched all the coverage of it yesterday and saw the doctors speaking of it and everything. And look, this is a very serious thing.
It absolutely is. What do we got on the text line, Connor? You said a lot of people chiming in about a bunch of different topics. So what do we got?
All right, so we'll lead off with this from our first texter here, no name, but they say on the idea of positivity, negativity, and fandom. What's weird, when I was younger, I was always optimistic, but when they lost, I stomped around. Now, more critical and doom, but not affected as much by the losses.
Because that's the typical, I'm going to sort of try to tear down my own enthusiasm for a team so that the hurt doesn't hurt as much.
Do you? It's funny is that Larry says, I'm sorry, Larry. I had it up here a second. Larry says, he goes, I don't get the same mentality, John. He goes, I work with people in a very high corporate environment. We're talking deep 6 figures that act like children about their sports teams. It affects their moods. It affects their lives. I don't get it. These are people with wives and children. I don't get it either. I've never understood that. I've understood is that when you're watching a game, you're out with your buddies and you're pissed and
you're yelling at the TV.
You're yelling at the TV.
Yeah, I get it.
I get that. Sunday afternoon, you're like, but Monday morning, You're stomping around. You're in a bad mood. You're like moping around because your sports team lost. I don't get it.
Well,
Like,
then that would
I
make
don't
you the
understand
more
that.
positive fan then,
Yes.
right? Because if your team loses,
No,
it affects you that much.
I don't know that it's that. I don't know that it's that you're the more positive fan. It's that you're. To me, that's like you're more of a grown up. Like it's like you don't. You're not like you. It has nothing to do with you on Monday morning, Tuesday morning. You got to put it behind you. It's a game.
I love that. I love hearing people who let it ruin their week or let it make their week.
Let it ruin their week?
Absolutely. Listen, that's the passion that makes sports towns like Philadelphia, right? I don't want people to come in Monday after an Eagles loss and be like, that sucks, but it is what it's just football, right?
Okay, you can have passion for the topic, moping around the office and being doom and gloom and upset all day long in a bad mood. You're a child.
Well, people
at that point.
process things
you're like a
different ways.
10-year-old.
But I like seeing people feel stuff. I like people letting their emotions show. I like people being invested.
I like the idea that you're at the coffee. You're getting a coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
You guys are walking to get a coffee. And Connor's like, dude, I'm still not over that game. That sucked yesterday. That was awful. That's fine. But then you go to work and you have your thing. You're not in a bad mood all day. You're not thinking, you're a golden retriever. You're like, that your owner could hit you with a newspaper on the nose, and you're smiling 10 minutes later.
You would agree that waking up the next morning after an Eagles win is a lot more fun than waking up the next morning after an Eagles loss.
It is, but stomping around and having a bad day because the Eagles lost the day before.
I don't know how
is
much.
Weird to me.
Look,
That's
there
just
are
weird
some
to me.
people that stomp around, but I think there is a legitimate, and I think it's a fair thing to feel when you wake up the next morning, you're walking into your Wawa to go get that cup of coffee.
You're not as happy. It's quieter.
It's quieter.
You're getting a lot less.
Everybody.
You're getting a lot less. Yeah, but you're not. I mean, the people he's talking about here, he working in. By the way, he has his firm on his. He's working with a firm with 3 names on it.
Good for you.
He's got and he says, I can't believe the way people act about it. Some of the people he works with.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of people.
By the way, he says quite a few of them listeners.
Oh,
So,
well, we appreciate you all listening.
Good to hear.
From the 3 named firm. All right, coming up next, we'll check more
4.
text messages. 4 named firm. How about that? Thomas, Kincade, Salciunas, and Simon.
Boy, that'd be a real.
That's
a firm for you. You're paying too much for that
Would
firm.
we win a case?
There we go.
Yeah, I was
yes,
pre-law.
we would. We absolutely would.
You were pre-law?
Yeah,
Yes, we
I
would win a
graduated with
case.
pre-law concentration.
We would win a case.
Yeah.
We've just got a billion lawyers that come through here, so I don't get the credit.
All right, we got more text messages we'll get to coming up next. Also, we'll open up some Eagles discussion to start the 7 o'clock hour. As great as Howie Roseman has been, and my God, has he been spectacular. What if he had a few do-overs, or at least one? We'll discuss that next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A hit parade at the bank. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies offense stayed hot at home last night in Game 1 against the Mariners, a 12-7 win. They also totaled 21 hits, including Bryce Harper's 2 monster home runs and Trey Turner's first home run at the bank this year. Turner had 4 hits in the game, and he talked after about making up for the absence of Zach Wheeler.
Definitely going to hurt a little bit and feel a little bit in here, but we don't have to rely on one person. We can all step up a little bit, and we can all play a little better defense. We can all pitch a little better. We can all hit a little better and play as a team. And I think if we all pick up a little bit of slack, I think we can get the job done.
And last night they got that job done. Speaking of Wheeler, he underwent a successful thrombolysis procedure yesterday to remove his blood clot. Still no timetable for his potential return. The Phils will play the Mariners again tonight, 6:45 p.m. first pitch. Christopher Sanchez on the mound against Bryce Miller. It's also the first day back for Jose Alvarado. He can be activated from his PED suspension today. The Eagles are preparing for their final preseason game against the Jets. That'll be this Friday. We're also officially a week away from the day 53-man rosters will have to be finalized for the season. We'll keep you updated on that. Kevin Patulo, offensive coordinator, meets with media at 9:40. We'll talk to Jeff McLane of the Inquirer at 8:25. Greg Caserta of MLB Network at 8:55. This update's brought to you by Audible. Stuck in traffic? Audible's romance collection will have you falling fast in the slow lane. Satisfy every side of you with rom-coms, romantasy, and the really steamy stuff. Listen free with a 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Andrew DeCecco.
What do you guys think about future Philly Ketel Marte?
Sure.
Does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah.
Wild story with
Are they ever gonna-
with Arizona.
That'd be nice.
The Arizona Diamondbacks all-star second baseman. He's a stud. He's a great baseball player. Ketel Marte was all-star this year with the Diamondbacks, and when he was supposed to return home with his fellow all-stars, he said, I'm going to go see my family in the DR. I'll be back for the first game, though, I promise. Psych. Missed 2 games post All-Star break. He was, obviously lost pay for it. He was punished by the team. It was his bobblehead day and everything.
That's a total jerk move.
It's crazy, man. And then all of a sudden, reports came out this week that the entire Diamondbacks, front office and a lot of his teammates are still very, very upset with him, and they might consider trading him during the offseason.
You see the thing about not tipping the clubbies too?
No, I did not see that.
Oh yeah, the road clubbies, where they put in the money for the road clubhouse.
Right.
That he was on the list of one of the worst clubby tippers.
It's not
like he's a guy who just doesn't really open up the wallet either.
Yeah, well,
sounds like a jerk.
Sounds like I would still take him as my second baseman, though.
I don't think there's that's. I don't think it's talent-wise. Yeah, talent-wise, yes.
If I told you right now, Ketel Marte overtakes Bryson Stott.
Well, overtakes talent-wise over Bryson Stott.
You would not complain at all.
This group though, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he fits. I'm not sure that he fits. It's not a normal clubhouse.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a normal clubhouse. I don't think they would be.
About this
that would be. This is not a normal thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different.
I know it's different, and I don't like how different it is.
Well, as long as you got general manager Bryce Harper's not going to like that.
I don't know. Maybe
if it doesn't go.
Marte. Who knows?
He's not going to like that.
All right. We'll get to our Eagles discussion to start the 7 o'clock hour. If Howie Roseman could have a do-over, we'll explain more coming up in a few minutes. But let's check our text messages some more as the show continues. You can text in at 610-632-0975. What we have talked about so far this morning that we will continue throughout the course of the show. When it comes to you and your fandom, are you the fan that when things are bad, you will be the over-positive person to almost uplift people or to lie to yourself? Or the reverse, are you the fan when things are really good, you're the, there's going to be another shoe that drops, I promise. You're the overly negative fan that anytime somebody is having fun, you feel the need to try to bring them down. And there were a lot of people that came after us last year when it came to our positivity with the Eagles. And we've seen that at points this offseason as well.
I think that those are the two big groups. I think there's other fans too that are just, and I had one from one of my best friends said to me, he goes, "You fall into your own category, John." He goes, "You are the annoying, absolutely too overly logical fan."
Yeah, you're Johnny Logic.
He said, he goes, you can sometimes, your logic sometimes can be the most annoying thing of fandom for me. He tends to be a overly negative fan. He admits that. But he says you fall into your own category of group of fans. There are probably more people like you, that you're overly logical, and everything's got to be just based in totally logic. It's not based in enough. He thinks that mine is not based enough in just getting caught up and swept up.
You're a very statistical
not
person.
Swept up in the moment. Like he goes, you need to be swept up in the moment more. Positively or negatively, allow yourself to be swept up in the moment more.
It's the magnet on your fridge.
And that's where it is.
Keep your feet in today.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Also, what will the reaction be for Jose Alvarado, who could pitch tonight following his 80-game PED suspension? You can text in at 610-632-0975. I bet you there will be more standing ovations than what
if he gets a standing ovation.
I'm telling you right now, there will be people that are standing and applauding when Jose Alvarado, if he comes out that is now pitching for the Phillies.
A standing ovation.
I bet you he gets one.
For what this guy did to his teammates and what he did to this team's chances to win a World Series.
I completely agree with you.
Is sheer stupidity.
I agree with you.
It is, if you're standing. Now, booing him, I'm not for, because he's wearing our laundry.
I would still boo him.
I wouldn't boo him. Now you see, I wouldn't boo him. Now I don't go that far. I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent to him. I'm like, help me any way we can use you. Let's use you. But then pack your bags and get the hell out.
I bet you he gets a standing ovation.
I'm telling you.
If he doesn't get one, I'll do PEDs.
You know what's funny is, though, if he gets a large standing ovation, it works against I think we do have one of the smartest fan bases in sports.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe, having seen a lot of others and seeing others up close and personal, our fan base has a high IQ. Whether sometimes we don't act it,
right,
but we have a high IQ fan base of understanding the game. If you don't understand what this guy did to this team's chance to win a World Series, to all of his teammates and everything, and you give him some large standing ovation, you just don't get it. You don't get it.
Curious to see what it looks like tonight. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, A. Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Connor, give us a text message before we have our discussion about Howard Roseman.
I'm still waiting to see you on PEDs. We got to check in here. This texter says,
"You're out, baby."
The reaction is, welcome back. Now help us get the best seating possible in the playoffs. Also, screw you for not being able to pitch in the playoffs.
So he's doing what? I missed a little bit of the beginning.
Welcome back. Help us now, and also screw you.
Welcome back is not. I do not advocate booing him at all. But I don't advocate booing my own players that much, because I think that's, unless it's a terrible play at a terrible time, I don't want him booed. But to me, wow. Like, if you give this guy a standing ovation, you honestly are not paying attention. And you don't know what he did to his teammates.
Yeah, here's my feel on this, right? I am no longer a fan of Jose Alvarado for this season. This is a business transaction. You show up, you help, you leave.
Absolutely.
That's it.
That's great. I'll supply. I'll supply the bagster. I will bring the bagster. Before we go down to the Tampa series, I'll bring a bagster.
Sounds good.
The dumpster in a bag.
He gets a standing ovation tonight.
I don't. Wow. I'm telling you, that might be one of the most disappointed that I've ever been of this fan base if that happens.
By the way, I keep seeing this on Twitter and on our YouTube chat. There's no Duran if not for the PED use.
That's not true.
May be true, may not be true.
No, because Romano crapped out.
But, like, is that a...
That's not true.
But is this I'm glad he did PEDs because we got Duran out of it?
It's not true, because Romano crapped out, and it was never going to be Alvarado as your closer. Rob Thompson had already shown you that multiple years. Jose Alvarado was never going to be the ninth inning guy. Rob Thompson never trusted him to be that guy over 22, 23, and 24. So there is zero reason to think he was going to be that in 25. They would absolutely have gone after a shutdown closer, especially the way that Romano and other guys in the bullpen had crapped out.
Yeah, definitely Romano.
This is like if you get hit by a bus
yesterday.
and then you meet a nurse and you end up marrying the girl and you're like, thank God I got hit by that bus. There are other places to meet nice women. You don't have to get someone suspended.
Wasn't there a movie
maybe
like that? Wasn't there Sandra Bullock in a movie like that or something?
She was driving the bus. Or was that not Sandra Bullock? Who was that?
Speed, right?
That was Speed, yeah.
Everybody down on the bus.
Bruce Willis, dog.
This is one of my worst acting performances ever. Everybody's down on the bus. No, that was Keanu Reeves.
That's right. Which one did Bruce Willis do?
Bruce Willis is awesome.
Bruce Willis, dog.
Bruce Willis is the
My
best.
bad. God,
By the way, we are DVRing it tonight. The Bruce Willis, they're doing he wanted to raise awareness about his Louis or whatever that is syndrome that he's got, and his wife is doing a special tonight on ABC to raise people's awareness on it, and he wanted it to be done before he slipped away, and it's amazing what they're doing. So that's tonight on ABC.
By the way, I was right. Sandra Bullock wasn't Speed.
No, I know you were right.
She was, but it was
they kind of
Bruce Willis.
Bruce and Keanu kind of look alike.
No, they don't
look anything alike.
Come on.
Stop.
Keanu Reeves looks like.
Oh my God! Stop.
If you shave the head, they look like twins.
Oh yeah, shave the head. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
My head ball. All right. Howie Roseman, as we know, is on a heater.
Yes, he is.
Considering all the success this Eagles team has had. Super Bowl champions in 2018, February 4th, 2018. Obviously getting back to a Super Bowl in the 2022 season and winning the Super Bowl not that long ago, Johnny. Feels like it was only yesterday. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. However, there are still things where we question some moves by Howie Roseman, even last year. Look, the signing of Devin White and Bryce Huff. What happened to those two players?
The two biggest signings were the two biggest busts.
Right. It's amazing, isn't it?
The two biggest expenditures were the two biggest busts, the two biggest misses.
So you're wondering, what if he had a do-over?
Yeah, give him a do-over. We're going to give Howie a do-over this morning because I got to tell you, I think maybe two of the biggest misses, like this offseason, I don't think this offseason's been a good one for Howie.
We talked about this on post-show headlines yesterday.
Yeah.
Connor, so check out post-show headlines on YouTube.
We appreciate it. You can go back and you can watch yesterday's. I don't think this has been a good offseason for Howie coming off a Super Bowl. Because right now, if I gave Howie a do-over, if I gave Howie a good bottle of, what's that tequila he likes that I just was telling somebody about it the other day.
1700.
He likes that really nice tequila. But he goes, would he give a contract
Don Julio
to Isaiah Rodgers or to Mekhi Becton? If he had it to do over again, what is the first thing? So he's two tequila shots in.
Yeah.
So he's feeling a little more loose. Maybe he's had a little the chips in the salsa.
Maybe.
He's gotten a little looser. And I go, Howie, come on, be honest with me. If you had it to do over again and you could spend that $10 million, would you have Isaiah Rodgers back here or Mekhi Becton? I think I know the answer, but after watching Saturday's game, Andrew, I'm not sure that I know the answer.
See, I think he would say Isaiah Rodgers just so that you can continue to solidify that young defense, and he is young within his own right. I get where you're coming from with the Becton thing.
Because that offensive line to me.
But they believe in Tyler Steen.
Oh, no. Well, and again, and Tyler didn't play the other day.
Right.
So, I mean, that shows you what they think of Tyler Steen. When they think somebody is a solidified starter, they don't play him. So, but that offensive line depth is terrible.
Yeah, you're worried about the depth. Now, Steen would still end up being your swing guard. And look, with Landon Dickerson maybe being out week 1, could you imagine if you had Mekhi Becton at right guard and Tyler Steen at left guard? You would feel great. But at some point, they wanted to give their draft pick the opportunity. I don't know if they felt that exact same way with Kelee Ringo. They gave him a shot to compete for a start. Like, Tyler Steen has earned to start in the NFL.
He has earned the opportunity.
Ringo,
he's earned the opportunity because he's earned it during this offseason, too.
Kelee Ringo has earned the opportunity to compete for a job, and he has not been winning that competition. So I would think if he could do it all over again, he would sign Isaiah Rodgers. That's my guess.
Connor, did you say the same thing?
Yes, absolutely.
And so it's no question.
No, that's the biggest miss of the offseason right now. Now, we'll see.
I can't believe it. And two, Big Fred.
By the way, you're talking about...
Even if Big Fred was here, I'd feel much better right now.
You're talking about offensive line depth. I'm talking about a starter.
Yeah, you're right.
Like a guy that's supposed to be on the field.
Like if Big Fred was here, I'd feel so much better.
I hear you.
If he had a swing.
You're just happy that you hung out with him in the islands.
He's a good dude, man. Go
Coming
Birds.
up next, speaking of some of these position battles, we'll give you some updates because there were a few noticeable players on and off the field yesterday at camp. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ricky Bo.
BetParks app and play all your favorite casino games. BetParks has a great offer for new users. Got to be 21, Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Make sure at some point in your life you work with someone who truly cares about you. John Kincade.
What's that?
You're trying to hook me up with the.
Oh, yes.
You're married.
I'm telling you, I'm new. I'm addicted to this place now when I'm at the airport.
You know, Johnny's Mr. Lounge at the airport, and he gets a +1. And he also
How
knows.
about this? Plus two?
Oh, +2. He also knows my fear of flying and how I need to get liquored up
Lubricate?
before getting on a plane.
So a couple of the guys I flew to Ibiza with had the lounge pass. And
Which one did they go to?
Well, we didn't. We got delayed
Oh, no.
3 hours.
Oh.
And
my.
the lounge was in a different terminal. We would have had to go out security and back in
well,
security.
that's not
And
fun.
so we just sat in the terminal. Big miss.
I would tell you right now, anybody in the and so fine if our sales department wants to get in on it, the Chase Sapphire Lounge, which is right at security as you go through the D gates.
Hell yeah, man.
So if you go through the security at the D gates, I'm telling you, it is the best lounge, flat out, you've ever seen. It's worth having the credit card. It is you can get in 3 hours before your departure.
Yeah, I've been. It's amazing. So.
It's unreal.
Make sure you work with somebody who truly cares about you.
It is unreal.
I don't know
John-
if you're
and-
lounge material.
No, he's lounge
I'm
material.
lounge
No, they're
material,
gonna love
bro.
you.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
gonna
no,
check
we
you at
got.
the door.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry if one of the gentlemen at the bar listens. I'm so sorry, and I'm it's chemo brain. I met last trip when I was going out to L.A. I'm so sorry, I cannot remember his name. He listens. So one at the bar, guys, he's
All right.
great. So they'll take great care.
You just gotta double tip him now.
It's
that you
awesome.
forgot his name.
I know. I feel so terrible.
All right, updates from camp yesterday. Our man Andrew DeCecco, obviously always on the scene. He'll be with us Thursday for 2 hours.
He'll be with us
Looking
8 to
forward
10
it.
on Thursday.
So DeCecco, follow him on social media at Andrew DeCecco. He gave the cornerback update from the field at NovaCare yesterday.
Interesting.
Adoree Jackson opens up with the first team alongside Quinyon Mitchell, which you go, all right, well, that's nothing new. They've been cycling guys in.
Correct.
DeCecco did not see Keely Ringo take a single first-team rep yesterday.
That is eye-opening. That's eye-opening.
He also adds that Cooper DeJean took some reps on the outside when they were in the base package. Vic Fangio told us that, if you remember, during the press conference yesterday, somebody asked him, would you kick Cooper DeJean out to the outside? And he said, well, why don't you pay attention to practice today? And then they followed up and said, is there any chance this could happen? He said, no, not yet. So Vic made it pretty clear not yet, but he would start taking some reps, maybe for a in case of emergency decision. But interesting to note that Adoree Jackson was taking reps with the first team yesterday, and Keely Ringo did not take a single rep with the first team.
Good eye. By the way, first with that information seemed to be yesterday was first with that observation, I should say, seemed to be our own Andrew DeCecco. I'm rooting like hell for Keely. I love Keely, but it doesn't sound good.
No. Unless it comes out today that Keely Ringo got a full day with the ones and Adoree Jackson doesn't get one with the ones. It's like today will be the interesting one. Today will be the interesting, is Adoree Jackson out there with the ones all day again today? Because if he is back-to-back days, you know your answer. You know who wins.
It's like the Phillies outfield rotation. Like we have to see it a couple times in a row. One day doesn't necessarily, but it is a sign.
You mean like Harrison Bader not being in the lineup yesterday?
Like me being 2-0?
I don't understand why he's on this baseball team.
I don't either.
And look, they won and they beat the crap out of the Mariners. So go Phils. I really don't understand it. They're gonna platoon, it seems like, forever.
We'll play again later.
I can't believe it. Yeah, we will play that game again later. All right, so Adoree Jackson running with the first teams. That was really the only big update from camp yesterday. It looked like Sidney Brown, Drew Makuba were still, getting their work in. But that's kind of the first sign that maybe one of the battles is over, depending on how it looks today. If Adoree Jackson is out there with the ones all practice again today, we have our answer. We don't have to watch preseason week number 3. That doesn't mean you feel good about the answer.
No.
Like at all. it could just mean that Adoree Jackson was the best of a not-so-great bunch. Who knows what the situation is with Jacorian Bennett, who is still getting opportunities. But he got to camp late, so they might not have him out there right away. That might be the Cooper DeJean, maybe not injury-related, but more so just needs more time to figure out the system.
Could be. I think that it's bad news for Keely Ringo.
Yes.
It's really bad news. But Keely could stick around. Well, he should stick around. But he'll stick around as a special teamser. It doesn't look good, though.
Well, yeah, they're not going to just get rid of him.
No, I mean, but he's going to be a special teamser and maybe have a chance to, in an emergency.
Right.
In case of emergency, break glass.
Yeah, absolutely. Or that's Cooper DeJean going to the outside. That could be the in case of emergency break glass.
Wow.
What do we got on the text line, Connor?
All right, we have a lot of people checking on the Jose Alvarado conversation. This texter, Sal from Broomall, says,
What's up, Sal?
Let me start with Alvarado is an idiot. The rule, though, should be he's out the whole year and not come back for a couple weeks.
Okay, I mean, it's a half-season suspension, and that's the rule.
But that's what people are bothered by, the fact that he can come back for the remainder of the regular season but not be eligible for the playoffs again. And a lot of people would rather rip the MLB for that rule than Jose Alvarado for doing it. And that's something that I don't agree with. Like, I don't agree with somebody ripping the league before they rip Alvarado. Like, that makes no sense to me. But if we were to change the rule, I get it. Just have them finish the rest of the season away from the team.
Okay, you understand with Sal. He's from the 19008. We grew up on tough streets. We don't tolerate stupidity.
Hell yeah, man.
Sal's a little tougher than I am, though, obviously. He's a little less forgiving even than I am on this. I'm indifferent. I think Sal would boo him tonight. I wouldn't boo him because he's wearing our laundry.
Can you put out a poll and see if people... We don't have to put the boo in there.
What you say, I think you do.
All
Because
right.
if you're putting how about this?
It's got to be a multi-option.
How about
then.
this? Standing ovation, boo, or otherwise?
Indifference.
Indifference.
Indifference. That's
three.
good. Those are the three. That's
I
good.
want those to be the three because I wonder how many people will vote standing ovation. All right, coming up next. The Eagles have a handful of concerning areas. All right, not enough that we think you should kill your confidence for the season, but we all have fears in the back of our minds. So what I want us to do as a show is rank them. Our top 5 fears going into the 2025 season for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A hot start to the series. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies offense stayed hot at home last night. Game 1 against the Mariners, a 12-7 win for the Fightins. They totaled 21 hits in the game, including Bryce Harper's 2 monster home runs and Trey Turner's first bomb at the bank. Turner had 4 hits in the game, and he talked after the contest about the team stepping up in the absence of Zach Wheeler.
Definitely going to hurt a little bit and feel a little bit in here, but we don't have to rely on one person. We can all step up a little bit, and we can all play a little better defense. We can all pitch a little better. We can all hit a little better and play as a team. And I think if we all pick up a little bit of slack, I think we can get the job done.
Wheeler underwent a successful thrombolysis procedure yesterday to remove his blood clot. Still no timetable for his potential return. Phillies play the Mariners again tonight, 6:45 p.m. first pitch. Christopher Sanchez on the mound against Bryce Miller. It's also the day that Jose Alvarado can be activated from his PED suspension. The Eagles are getting ready for their final preseason game. They'll take on the Jets this Friday. And we're also officially a week away from the day 53-man rosters will have to be finalized for the season. Regular season right around the corner, folks. We'll hear from offensive coordinator Kevin Patulo at 9:40. We'll talk to Jeff McLane of the Inquirer at 8:25. Greg Caserta of MLB Network at 8:55. This update is brought to you by Aleve. Traffic and body pain can slow you down, but don't let the pain stop you with just one pill. Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief so you can keep moving. Use as directed. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
7:26 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I know the poll is up. Now we don't have the Dr. Avidan Appel Twitter poll like Unfiltered does.
Well, that poll is always up.
But we have the Twitter poll up and running on 975 The Fanatic. What will be your reaction to Jose Alvarado's return to the Phillies tonight? The options: booing, applause/ovation, and indifference. So before we continue, is that a well-worded poll? Because John,
I think it's
you are the
wordsmith.
Wordsmith.
No, I think that's fair.
All right.
That's very fair.
We'll update you on that as the show progresses. All right, so homework assignment. Your top 5 biggest concerns going into the season with the Eagles. Now that we're getting closer, and again, I don't believe there should be any concern, and injuries off the table because
we can't do that.
We just like I appreciate our. No,
YouTube. you can do depth though.
Yeah, and I appreciate our YouTube chat chiming in on this. Our man Kieran goes edge, injuries, CB2. Safety and defensive tackle.
Well, everybody has injuries, so like every team would have that, so we got to take that off.
But to your point, like if he said specifically the offensive line depth, that kind of goes to the injuries
conversation. That's the truth. No, you can say that because that is offensive line depth is important because, look, every year, Mailata misses a start, Lane Johnson misses a start.
Right.
You're going to have that. So depth in the offensive line is a real thing.
But like I can't go into a season saying, man, I'm scared that if Jalen Hurts gets hurt. Like I just
No, you can't do that.
I
because
can't do that.
You know what they could do in Washington this morning on the show? What if Jaden Daniels gets hurt?
Right.
What if Dak gets hurt again in Dallas? Every team can do that. What if Joe Burrow gets hurt?
They could also say, what if Terry McLaurin doesn't play for us?
Oof.
All right, I'll give you my 5, and then I want John, and then I want Connor. Number 5, the least of my worries, is Hurts/Patulo passing offense can't outscore others. Like, what if we just don't see it? Because the schedule is much more difficult this year compared to last year. And as I have said time and time again, I believe that they will have to take a slight step back from running the football as much. So what if the Hurts/Patulo passing offense can't overcome some of the other top offenses they'll be playing?
Who are the top offenses you're worried about? I don't mean to bog down this one answer, but who are the top offenses you're worried about them outscoring?
I expect the Cowboys to put up a decent amount of points in week 1.
I think the Cowboys could have a better, could have an offense that rivals the Eagles as far as points per, if they have Dak.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
There.
I mean, look.
But I'm not worried about them against the Eagles.
You know how I've been consistent with my worry for Matt Stafford, not worry in terms of I'm scared of him, worry in terms of if I'm a Rams fan, I would not feel great that Matthew Stafford's dealing with back issues already. But if he's good, they have a lot of good players on that offense.
Like we have the best offense in the division. I think the Commanders' offense could be nice. I think we have the best offense in our division. So that's 6 of our games.
Okay.
I think we have the best offense of any of the AFC West teams. We play them. That's 4 more games. Like, I'm not really worried about that. I think our offense is better than Green Bay's. By the way, you see Green Bay's ravaged with injuries of the wide receivers and everything.
I'm just saying, if we're talking about scoring 30 points a game, it's a what if. I believe that they can do it. It's just a what if.
Like on our schedule, Lions, I worry about having a better offense. Vikings, I worry about having a better offense than them. Rams, I could worry about having a better offense than them. Very few teams, though. I'm talking about a handful of games that I go, wow, you might have to score 40. You might have to score 35 or 40 to win this game. A lot of these games I'm not really as concerned about.
Okay, fair.
Go on.
4, I have O-line depth, to your point.
Yes.
3, again, another what if. And it's not injuries. It's what if Saquon and the toll from last year he loses a step. That's why I still believe that the passing offense needs to be better this year than what we saw last year. 2, I have edge rusher depth. During post-show headlines yesterday, we talked about how that seems to have been glossed over by a lot of people because of the focus of the second cornerback spot and the not-so-great competition that I think we've overlooked the lack of legitimate depth at the edge rusher position. Like, I still need to see who Azeez Ojulari is and Josh Uche is during regular season football. And then number 1, obviously, cornerback 2. So those are my 5.
And those are very valid. I mean, I think you have 3 of the ones that every Eagles fan who's educated should have.
And look, 2 of mine are what ifs. 2 of mine are depth. And then 1 is a legitimate starter. So that's good. Like, I'm glad that those are my 5 concerns. My 5 concerns, 2 are what ifs, 2 are depth related, and only 1 is a starter. Like, to me, that's why when I tease the segment that we would give our top 5 concerns, my top 5 concerns are not limiting my confidence when it comes to this Eagles football team. What about yours, John?
Okay, I think that you have you got 3 right there that are really, really big. I'm A.J. Brown's hamstring is one of my top 5 because of his. I put him as one of yours. I've got 3 of yours that I'll sign off on there as one of mine. I consider that number 5, but I don't have Saquon on there because I have no injury concern with Saquon. And I do believe that they will have to pull him back. I've also got an interesting one here. Is that are we? I need to see the linebacker room perform during the season. I need to see. I'm hearing all the hype. I need to see it because last year what I saw was a great linebacker performance. I want to believe that it's now this new group that's going to just ascend and immediately be able to step in. I have questions until I see it in the regular season.
I totally get where you're coming from, and it's amazing. Our next segment is actually about the linebackers of the Eagles.
Right, that's why I was wanting to stay. I don't want to go into it too deep. That's where I'm at, though.
I totally get your, what if Zach Bond is not all-pro linebacker Zach Bond again?
Yeah, I mean, I think Zach Bond, to me, I think it is far more likely that Zach Bond takes a step back than Saquon Barkley. Far more likely.
Just because he came out of nowhere last year.
Like 100 times more likely that Zach Bond is more ordinary than Saquon Barkley is ordinary.
Now, ordinary could be good for this team, considering the histories of linebacker.
Oh, no
ordinary
questions
is
asked.
Still above average when it comes to the Eagles.
And I'm not calling for that for Zach Bond.
Yeah, you're just worried. It's in the back of your mind.
Yeah, it is.
Connor, you're 5.
I have the same 5 as Andrew Salciunas.
Are you kidding me?
But not in the same order.
That's fine.
So
okay.
I will at least give you the hierarchy. For me, the 5th biggest concern is the pass rushers stepping up. Guys taking another step in their progression, like Jalix Hunt and Nolan Smith. Number 4 is the passing game evolution. Number 3 is offensive line depth. Number 2 to me is Saquon's usage this year. And number 1 is cornerback 2.
I'm going to tell you.
Steal my homework.
I'm going to tell you both. Saquon didn't make my list. I would absolutely tell you to me it's far more likely that we're talking about Zach Bond is more. I don't want to use a bad analogy. Zach Bond turns back into a pumpkin, then Saquon Barkley becomes an ordinary back.
That may be true, but
far more it's not even like close to me. My concern, my nagging, would be that.
But I think that you're whistling past the graveyard on the Saquon thing. You've seemed very
over 400
dismissive
touches
at
last year
about how he could potentially take a step back this year, and history would tell you he's going to take a step back this year, and his history would tell you that there are other concerns.
It doesn't though. In 4 of the last 5 backs have take a step back, but taking a step back, the backs that have taken a step back have taken a step back to. The numbers they take a step back to would be comparable to like 1,600 yards.
Which would be great.
They don't take steps back from – when they take steps back, they tend to take steps back 20% of production, something like that.
Right, but
they don't take the steps back 50% of production.
No 2,000-yard rusher has ever crossed 1,500 in a subsequent season in NFL history.
Extra game helps
exactly,
that out
and that's a totally different right. And he sat out, and it's a totally different thing.
All right.
Like to me.
By the way, a couple people taking exception to your offenses that don't totally scare you. You did miss one name that you are scared of.
What's that?
Tampa Bay.
JM
No, I said Tampa. I said Bucks. No, I said Bucks.
Did you say Bucks?
I said Bucks. Tampa was my second name. Detroit, Tampa, Rams. Detroit, Tampa, Rams. I didn't pick the Vikings, and I know a lot of people picked the Vikings.
Ed Wright says the Vikings.
No. With who? Who's their quarterback?
Well, if J.J. McCarthy is the guy,
then I am not putting J.J. McCarthy. Have you watched J.J. McCarthy yet? You're wishing a lot of J.J. yet. I like J.J. I'll need to see J.J. before I start to worry about him.
All right, coming up next, you mentioned the linebackers. Well, the tease was one concern we don't have is linebacker, but apparently that's not true.
That's it. There you go. That's why we don't do the show for the show.
What if I told you the Eagles have a top 3 linebacker? What world are we living in? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
They're trying to get a man in Sealy 7. It's a breakaway.
.41 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor's doing some shady stuff in the back, dude.
It's not shady.
I don't know. Like, you got... I walk in. I had to use the restroom. I come back. There's Connor with Sean Rodman, who's doing great work back there, filling in for Gunner.
He could be a little shady too, Rodman. Don't sell him short.
And they're doing something audio-wise, and they wouldn't tell me what they're doing, so I'm nervous.
Uh-oh.
I'm nervous. It's something shady.
Stay tuned to this segment.
All right,
Shady.
so it's this segment. Whatever your shady nature is will happen in this segment. Okay. Fox Sports ranked the top 10 linebackers heading into 2025. What world do we live in where the Eagles have a linebacker that comes in at number 3, Johnny? So number 3, Zach Bond.
Okay.
Now, I totally get your concern or what, maybe what if.
How about this? I think Zach Bond is a top 10 linebacker in the NFL. I think he's a top 10 guy. I'm not ready to say he's top 3. I just don't. Like he
played like one last year.
He did. Last year he did.
You're wondering
that
if
is
he
the
can
total
continue
anomaly
that.
in his career. We'll see what he does. But he also, last year, I could also say, it's the year that they gave him the opportunity to do that.
Right.
So maybe this is exactly who he is.
Because he played a different position from where he was playing when he was with the New Orleans Saints.
So maybe that's what it is. So maybe all the guy needed was the opportunity.
By the way, for perspective, Fred Warner still number 1, Roquan Smith number 2, Zach Bond ahead of Nick Bolton from the Chiefs, who was number 4. Levante David at 5.
Okay.
And Frankie Louvu at 6. I still am upset that the Eagles didn't sign him. And I know that he's like public enemy number 1 because of the jumping over the line of scrimmage and hitting Hurts on the tush-push stuff. That dude's a stud.
Do you think that if I told you that I could easily, in my mind, say that every one of those guys is – I could easily say that every one of those guys is as good, if not better, than Zach Bond? Is that out of – Is that out of line?
I mean, it just feels out of line because of what he did last year.
No, I love what he did.
Those guys have been doing it over multiple years.
Correct. And
so
that's
I get
where,
what you're saying.
And that's where I'm at. I mean, it's like that's where I'm at. As far as I think that there's a lot of hope. I just got to hear. I do not the doubt of I do not think that Saquon Barkley is other backs. And the average drop-off now, I want to thank Martino.
What up, Martino?
Martino for this one, too. He goes, the average drop-off of any back plus 1,800 yards tends to be, when it's not an injury, we're not predicting injury, when they play a healthy season the next year, tends to be between 10 and 14%.
Okay.
So 10 to 14%, though, is significant.
Yeah.
That's significant. Like, could be 200 yards, could be 250 yards that it drops down, so it makes him like a 1,750-yard back, something like that. I expect that he's not doing 2,000 yards again. But my concern about Saquon Barkley is not something that even gives me a minute of unrest or lack of sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that is the case because again, I don't do the injury thing, so I can't.
Well,
I can't
to me,
worry
it's not
about
injury. Like, oh my God, he's going to miss 4 games. To me, it's does he have that same burst?
Well, no. He may not have the same abilities and numbers, but when the guys are healthy, they don't tend to fall off the map. They tend to. It's injury that has tended to when someone has gotten hit. They drop off, but they don't drop off the map.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think they need him to. And I don't think they're going to drop off his production. Like I don't think they're all of a sudden going to go, we're not using him.
What are you trying to do, Shady Thomas?
Me? Well, you guys might have forgotten we had this, but the next play might have started. Doesn't matter. I'm throwing the flag.
We have a challenge.
He might break something when he throws that challenge flag.
The previous comment is under review.
Johnny, your offenses, man. Little misremembering. We went back to the replay booth.
On our schedule, Lions, I worry about having a better offense. Vikings, I worry about having a better offense than them. Rams, I could worry about having a better offense than them. What's than them? Very few teams, though. I'm talking about a handful of games.
No Tampa Bay Buccaneers mentioned there, Johnny.
Wow, he threw the
What's
challenge.
than them?
Than them. Than the Eagles.
Than them. I didn't hear it. Well, then I misspoke. Because I've been on the Bucs. I think the Bucs are, as I told you.
All right.
I think they're the second biggest threat to the Eagles in the Detroit, and the Bucs are the second biggest threats to the Eagles.
Connor just stabs you in the back.
We'll replay
Connor.
first down.
Connor, I could do
the ones who wanted the challenge
now that
thing.
this is done, I could do this to Connor 4 times a week.
Oh my God!
You're more
and now,
than welcome
guess what?
to.
Now that it's done,
You don't have the board and you don't know how to edit audio though.
no.
You could tell
I
me
can-
to throw the challenge flag for you.
Now
When's
that
the last time you
I haven't-
used Audition?
Guess what? I haven't had only thing for my kids in class. It's the only thing. I've
Okay,
ever had to do.
You looked at me like I
right.
said something,
No, what I'm going to say
sacrilegious.
is I'm going to enjoy now that is being we have the use of this.
Hey, notice I didn't use that.
It's good,
Man.
Connor. I appreciate you bringing that out because there is the stupid stuff that comes out of your mouth, not a misspeak. I am going to enjoy that.
Wow.
Connor,
Man, you just
thank you
opened up
very
a-
much.
a
You have opened up Pandora's
bag of
box.
danger.
Because that is completely different.
Wait, hold on. Or as Brendan Gunn said last week, we never made note
What's
of
that?
this. Opened up the window
4.
to Pandora.
Oh, the window to Pandora.
That's
yes.
what Gunner said last week.
Or
and
4.
I just start or 4. Yeah,
I
that's
love
what-
that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
love
what do
him.
we got on the text line there, Connor?
All right, so we have a bunch of people still checking in on this Jose Alvarado thing, and I know this guy who's texting is crazy because his last 4 texts are Ricky Bo positive texts. But he says, standing ovation. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, see, come on.
That's just so stupid.
That's just dumb.
Stop.
And so if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You know what
No,
else,
you
Jose?
screwed
Yeah.
over every one of your teammates. You screwed over their chance to win a World Series. This was their best year. By the way, you have guys who are in the expiring contracts who are walking away, like a Kyle Schwarber potentially. It's too dumb. It's too dumb.
Yeah, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But he literally cannot try in the playoffs because of the cheating.
It's so
can't try
it's so
because
dumb.
He's
Yeah, that's stupid.
ineligible for the playoffs.
Texter must be a Michigan fan.
Yeah, well, that's it too. Could be.
Go
Big Blue.
Could be it.
Go Big Blue.
All right, so coming up next, we'll check that poll because I'm curious.
I'm anxious.
We'll check to see what the people are saying about the reaction to Jose Alvarado when he makes his return tonight. If he pitches tonight, we'll see. It depends on the gameplay.
That is the truth.
Also, even though we just gave our top 5 reasons of concern for the Philadelphia Eagles, none of which are enough concerns to say they have no chance of winning, we're still very confident on this show. It's hard to ignore the issues that are happening within this own division, especially the team that you beat in the NFC Championship game last year. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A big night at the bank. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Phils had last night in Game 1 against the Mariners, a 12-7 win. They totaled 21 hits in the victory, including Bryce Harper's 2 monster home runs and Trey Turner's first homer at the bank this whole season. And Turner, well, he had 4 hits total in the game, so he stepped up. But he talked about the team stepping up in the absence of Zach Wheeler.
Definitely going to hurt a little bit and feel a little bit in here, but we don't have to rely on one person. We can all step up a little bit, and we can all play a little better defense. We can all pitch a little better. We can all hit a little better and play as a team. And I think if we all pick up a little bit of slack, I think we can get the job done.
Speaking of Wheeler, he underwent successful thrombolysis procedure yesterday to remove his blood clot. Still no timetable for his potential return to action. The Phils take on the Mariners again. Game 2 is tonight at 6:45 p.m. Christopher Sanchez on the mound against Bryce Miller. It's also the night that Jose Alvarado is eligible to return for his PED suspension. The Eagles are getting ready for their final preseason game. They'll take on the Jets on Friday, and we're a week away from the day 53-man rosters will have to be finalized ahead of the NFL season. So football season's getting close. We'll hear from offensive coordinator Kevin Patulo at 9:40. We'll talk to Jeff McLane of the Inquirer at 8:25 and Greg Caserta of MLB Network at 8:55. This update's brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It
What did
is
I do?
a Tuesday morning filled with peace, apparently.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, what was the tweet that
Here's
you
the
got?
tweet. He goes, Connor doing that to you, John? He goes, on a misspeak? He goes, 97.5 The Fanatic could run Connor stupid sheesh, Connor says, from 7 to 9 every Saturday morning and fill it weekly.
Oh.
Wow.
Scott Masteller listening. He may come up with an idea here.
You opened up a dangerous door there, Connor.
Hey,
I like having that door open.
Listen, I said it'll be fun. I said it'll be a lot of fun.
Opening up a
Hey, here's the thing.
I don't look.
Dangerous
I don't start, but I can finish. I don't start,
Oh, you think
but I can finish. I can finish.
I almost said something. Never mind. But here's the thing, too. Just full transparency.
No
to everybody.
justification.
No. I'm justified. I could justify. It
Yeah,
wasn't
Connor.
like.
No
it wasn't like I
justification.
thought that you didn't believe it. I know how you feel about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? But it's just that.
So you wanted to misrepresent the way I feel about Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No, I didn't want to misrepresent. You misspoke, and we questioned you, and you said you didn't say it. So I just got the audio.
I got
that
you.
said did.
I got so it was a misspeak.
Somebody
Yeah,
on
that's
YouTube did say that you didn't say Tampa. And
Yeah,
you said you
okay.
did. And
I thought I had. Yes, I thought I had. It was a misspeak. Yes, I thought I had.
I'm not trying to
if,
grill
And
you.
if we all listen to this show daily, John's been worried about Tampa for like 3 years now.
Yeah, it's good. So
Sometimes
it's
the challenge is just toe out of bounds.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Yes, we're ready for it.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, let's check the Twitter poll because Shane Beavers, not Shane Bieber, the pitcher with the
Nice.
Where'd he go now? Where'd he get traded? Guardians to Blue Jays.
Blue
Sure.
Jays.
I think the Blue Jays traded.
Blue Jays. Yeah, he lost his taxes.
He says people are allowed to fan however they want, do what you want, and it's about the Jose Alvarado thing. And again, our topic today, in case you're just tuning in, our topic to start the show today is why do you as a fan feel the need when something really bad happens, be the opposite and almost be over the top positive? Same with the person that when things are going well, there's the I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. So you can fan however you want. The question is why? Like, what led you to being the person that you are today when it comes to fandom? Because I am somebody, as we've pointed out, that's usually more positive than not. Now, obviously, the Zach Wheeler news broke me down. I'm a broken man when it comes to the Phillies.
You're better today, though. You're better today.
I'm better today.
You're better today because I think, first of all,
But I won't change my opinion. I still don't think they have a World Series team. Like, I don't feel that way.
You think they have no shot still.
Correct. Unfortunately.
I think they have small shot. Small. You tell me 10%. I'll give you 10%.
Okay, that's a small
But
percentage.
I can't. It's a small percentage. Yeah,
So
but I'll give you that.
what we're trying to figure out is what led you to being the fan that you are today. You can climb in at 610-632-0975. What is the Twitter poll, Connor?
So our question here, what will be your reaction to Jose Alvarado's return to the Phillies tonight? 3 options: booing, applause or ovation, and indifference. And right now, leading and over 300 votes on this one already, 65% of the vote saying indifference, 22% saying applause or ovation, and 13% saying booing.
I'm so proud to hear 2 out of 3 is indifference. That makes me happy. Because that's where I think it should be. It's indifference.
Yeah.
If you realize what this guy did to his teammates, no matter what happy talk you hear about, yeah, they heard his explanation and they welcomed him back, they're glad to have him because he can help them win the division. I can tell you, he snuck out like a thief in the night.
Here's what's going to happen. The peer pressure ovation will happen.
That's terrible, and it better not. It better not.
I was anti Trey Turner standing ovation because my opinion or my stance on it was, what if it doesn't work? Like, what are you going to do next week? Are you just going to like boo him louder or something? I don't know if everybody was on board with it, but once like everybody in your section starts doing it, everybody else starts doing it.
No,
I
look
bet
at
you
those
there will be
people
the
as-
peer pressure ovation.
Well, if you give in to peer pressure, first of all, you're not at the junior high lunch table. So don't. Those people are ridiculous. He has screwed over. He screwed over every one of his teammates. He screwed over this entire city and fan base with his behavior and what he decided to do. Cheating the system. And it's so simple to know what you're allowed to take and to know what you're not allowed to take. It's so simple. all it takes is a couple of pictures taken with your phone, uploaded to a portal, getting almost an immediate response.
Yep.
He snuck around, thought he could get away with it, and didn't. So don't take any kind of this nonsense of, well, he thought he was taking something he was allowed to take. No, that's nonsense.
He's back tonight. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, A. Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. The Commanders, what the hell is going on with them? Terry McLaurin still not playing or practicing because of the contract dispute. But now they're talking about trading their starting running back.
What are you going to get for Brian Robinson Jr.?
I don't know.
Well, like, what are you getting? Are you getting you're getting a third day pick, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Brian Robinson Jr. fan.
I like him.
I think he does some good things. He's more of that powerful back that they were able to use in the red zone at times, and I think did he have a bit of a fumbling issue last couple of years?
Yeah.
I'm just not the biggest Brian Robinson Jr. fan. I know they like what's the running back's name that wants to go by Bill? Did you guys see this?
He wants to go by Bill?
He's got like two last names.
Ja'Cory Frosky Merritt.
But he wants to go by Bill Merritt.
Told reporters that he wants to go by Bill.
I love that.
That's just so funny. But he wants to go by Bill. I'm just surprised that on August, this was the 18th, was when you sent it to me, or you sent it to me this morning.
Sure.
But it comes out yesterday from Dan Quinn, head coach of the Commanders, that they're pretty much going into the season without Brian Robinson Jr., and they also have the Terry McLaurin situation going on right now.
And two of those guys were two of the top 5 guys last year for the Commanders in their breakout season.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them, who's not playing, is probably the biggest reason that Jaden Daniels had the breakout season he had.
I think a lot of this is we think Jaden Daniels is that good that we do not have to pay some of these guys, and we will be able to get other pieces around him. And I think that's a mistake, especially he's only going into his second year. Why make it more difficult for him?
I have no idea. I have no idea what they're thinking. But they went and got old this offseason, too. I have no idea about that either. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
They were old. They were old yesterday or last year.
I have a little idea.
Hello?
Like, that just
making
doesn't...
a team older?
Yeah, but he's not.
No,
he's
I
not
know.
making any of the decisions.
I know.
He's just cutting the check.
I just want to take a shot. That was
it just
mean to me.
Why
It just
are you
doesn't
taking
make
a
any
shot?
point.
I don't know.
He's not.
I'm feeling feisty today.
It's not anybody's problem. Trust me. All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor?
So we have a list of top 5 concerns for the Eagles from Sean here.
Okay.
His 5th is A.J. Brown's hamstring and wide receiver depth.
So he had the same
That's
one I
what
did.
yours was, yeah.
4th was Saquon's usage. 3rd, Kevin Patulo's play calling. 2nd, defensive line. And then 1st was secondary and corner. I can't believe that's someone's number 2 concern for this team.
I don't blame anyone for it. Mine is edge rusher specifically, right? And I had that at number 2. And if you look at the defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles,
You feel that good, Connor?
like Jalen Carter, if he needs to take a breather
What
and he's
happens?
off the field, you'll notice the difference.
Like, what
when
happens?
He's not on the
Yeah,
field.
I wouldn't say like I feel that good, but it's more of like a middle of the pack part of the team to me. I don't think they're going to be a problem. I don't think they're going to be the calling card of this defense. I think
What's the calling card of the defense when the secondary is so shaky?
Well, that's a great question.
Well, then I'm asking.
I
mean,
don't know. It very well could be the linebacker position.
And you have one set answer at linebacker. I mean, I want to believe.
I'm excited in Jahad Campbell.
I'm excited
very
about Jahad Campbell, but you haven't seen Jahad Campbell play against first-team players. I mean, we haven't seen Jahad Campbell do it. I am very high on Jahad Campbell. Love it. But we haven't seen anything to tell you what Jahad Campbell's going to be as a starting linebacker against, real NFL talent.
And maybe it will be the calling card is the interior push, and a lot of that is on Jalen Carter. And we saw his snap count increase heavily last year to the point where he was playing a lot of snaps every game. So maybe he is enough. I don't know. Just for me, there seems to be bigger question marks on this team than that defensive front.
Okay.
Is Jordan Davis one for anybody?
I mean, I think
I
he's
saw
really
Jordan
good at
Davis
stopping the run.
I saw Jordan Davis improve last year. His physical fit. I got to tell you that I'm his weight loss, which everybody is like so thrilled about, I got to see him play. I've never seen him play at that weight.
Right.
I'm anxious to see him.
I get what you're saying.
He was like, I want to see him play at that weight. And I've seen players sometimes adjust their bodies, and it hasn't been positive for them.
But he won't be, like, that's the thing with Jordan Davis. Like, he might not be the first-round pick grade that we spent on him, right? But he's not going to be a problem. We know what his floor is, and his floor is enough to be an asset to the defense in some way. So that's the thing. I think this defensive line floor is higher than some other parts of this team. Their ceiling might be lower than we need it to be, but
I mean, look, the depth is definitely a question of mine. All right,
sure.
Are we throwing another challenge flag? Let's go to Cousin Ryan.
What's this?
What's up? What's up, Cuz? Sorry,
hey guys,
that's
how
a
are
different
you?
person.
What are you doing, Ryan? You're not saving people from burning buildings or anything?
No, not today.
Okay.
I'm trying to save you from Connor coming at your throat.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Well, the funny thing
You
is,
come
Connor,
for one Kincade, you come for all of us, right? Does he know that?
Exactly. Connor, you can't expect somebody not to speak up on this. Do you remember, I'm throwing the challenge flag, do you remember all the stupid stuff you used to say about striking out Ricky Bo, or you'd be able to hit off of Ricky Bo? Come on, brother. What's the
D up TJ McConnell, tackle Brian Westbrook.
I gave me,
none of those have been proven incorrect.
I mean,
okay.
I mean, come on.
I'm up for the challenge.
Connor, Orion, I think we could put together just remember when T.O. had the show? What was it? What was
Pros
it?
versus Joes?
The Pros versus Joes.
I love that.
We
very
could have
much
all
remember.
the things Connor says he could do that he can't do. We could do.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Connor. Everyone you challenged, put me in their place, and I'll still beat you.
Oh, how about that?
Oh,
I
wow.
like it.
That's
Appreciate the
right.
call, Cousin Ryan.
Connor versus the
that?
fireman.
Dude,
Listen, I
I'm pro
never
fireman.
turned down a challenge.
Connor versus the fireman.
I'm pro fireman unless you're a first-round draft pick. I've said that numerous
Exactly.
times. Danny
Unless you're-
Watkins and Laiatu Latu. I wanted nothing to do with him.
And
I found out he wanted to be a fireman.
And Haley says, too, she was better in the hand-eye coordination drills than Connor.
That's right. Right.
So she liked that. She was happy with that, so.
All right.
Interesting.
I'll just say, you come at the king, you best not miss.
The king. The king actually has to prove that he gets the throne.
Coming up next, we have today's headlines with the king, Connor Thomas. It is Kincade Salciunas on this Tuesday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement season.
11 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic on this Tuesday morning. Johnny, getting closer and closer to week 1, September 4th. Can't get here fast enough.
16 days to the opener. It's nice.
That's actually really nice.
That's really 16 days just sounds sweet.
What is
100 days to Thanksgiving? Turkey trots. So you got to get ready for turkey trots. Everybody who starts to train,
not enough of all of that.
get ready. 38 days to Clearwater.
I'm pro hearing that.
Okay, so you like that number. You like my countdown clock when it applies.
Yeah, when it applies to me. Yeah. I run every day. What's a turkey trot?
You see, that's for you. A turkey trot is just another day.
What is the Thursday like? Like, just close your eyes and think about it for a second. What is your Thursday, September 4th, like leading up to kickoff? Because we're gonna
have a great morning because it's going to be so much fun.
But then we got what time's kickoff? 8 o'clock.
Yes,
we got a long.
Well, I'm going home. I'm going home before I go down to the game, and it will be a day of pure joy. It will be a day of excitement and pure joy because there will be so many emotions going through of just thinking about what a great.
Right, the banner
what a great
drop
moment it was. I remember the last banner. I remember the banner doesn't drop. Just for people to remember it. They just dropped the black curtain off of it. Right. And when they dropped that black curtain last time, remember the weather delay because of the severe storms. So already I'm going to be scouting out the weather forecast.
Oh, hell yeah,
saying,
man.
please don't do that to us again. And don't make it a 100-degree night.
That would be nice.
It looks like we're heading into by the way, a very cool weather pattern, which would be great. And to me, I just want a great weather day because I believe the tailgating's starting at 6 a.m.
By the way, this morning was football weather, dude.
It felt good,
I got
didn't
long
it?
sleeves on today.
Felt good.
All right, it's time now for today's headlines with the backstabbing king.
Here he is.
Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
All right, it's brought to us by Lundy Law. I think we're going to have some people on the show that got to call Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers, visit lundylaw.com. That's lundylaw.com. Speaking of injured people, we almost had a bit of a situation in a minor league game. Now, you guys will remember Victor Robles.
Yes.
From his time with the Nationals. Been in Major League for a while.
All this.
Big fan of praying mantises. Maybe not so much of minor league pitching. He's on a rehab assignment with the Tacoma Rainiers. And he's been hit 5 times in his last 15 at-bats.
That's ridiculous.
Well, he thought so, too. Here's what happened in the game.
Right fielder lined out to Halter at third back in inning number 1. And the first pitch from Estes. Swung on and fouled off on a pitch that hit him. He picks up the bat and throws it at Estes. He's been tossed.
Threw the bat at the pitcher. Quick ejection there for Robles.
Yeah, I would imagine quick ejection.
That was bad, though. I mean, his response was bad, but I understand it.
Look, you're frustrated because you've been hit 5 times. But my question is, did that pitcher hit him 5 times, or was that the 5th different pitcher, and did he take it out on him?
But I think I think he's tired of these tomato cans.
Yeah, the AAA pitchers. Yeah, absolutely.
That are just terrible.
Yeah, it's just take it easy, man.
But the way he threw that bat. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, it was a violent throw.
It was violent.
A lot of people would want to do that to Jordan Romano right now.
Jeez. All right, we'll move on to this as well because it's preseason for everybody, including the broadcast crews in the NFL. And the Broncos preseason crew, well, they were taking on the Cowboys, and they had an interesting report about Micah Parsons that they went to.
Maybe this guy Micah Parsons in a contract that also has some question marks, let's call it that. Maybe Micah Parsons would be, a lot of fun to hang out with.
Everybody gave Sean Payton some grief for saying he wants to win a Super Bowl. How about this? You got one of the best defensive ends saying Broncos have a real chance at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'd be great if it was a real quote from Micah Parsons. They got by a fake social media quote that somebody attributed to his podcast. The person who put out the fake quote then quote tweeted the video and said, I got him. So Broncos preseason crew eating the trash on that one.
Oh, my gosh.
Look, it happens. Terrible. It's happened to us before. It's just it sucks when it's on a big stage like that. Preseason, albeit preseason, but still.
Wow.
I just wanted to, did a producer, because I'm, we've learned over the years, like, certain productions like that are like things are handed to you.
Sure. Oh, it had to have been produced because they had a graphic with the quote on the broadcast.
See, that's the producers. The producers at fault. The research teams at fault.
Yeah. Like sometimes we have we're doing the show live, right? And something pops up on your timeline. You go,
that
my
doesn't
God,
look
blah,
real.
blah, blah.
You said to me last week, you went, John, that is not real. I forget what it was. There was a story, and you went, John, that is not real. There's no way that's real. And you were right. He's like, that's not real.
But we're doing it live on the air, whereas that was a produced.
That's terrible.
Let's take the time at some point during this game to talk about this. That's just not good.
That's bad.
What happens to the best of us? We'll round out with our replay.
Why are people that way? Is it because they don't want to admit that something is really bad? Is it that there are people that try to control themselves from maybe feeling emotional that if things are good, they go bad? The psyche of the sports fan confuses me sometimes.
Now, I think an important part of this conversation is to remember that sports fans are not inherently rational, right? We'd like to try and exist in a rational space, but this is kind of pure emotion for a lot of people, and that leads to weird behavior. I do think some of it is trying to balance. I think we seek balance when it comes to sports fandom, and that's why people try and counter the negative with overly positive and positive with overly negative. But people just go too far sometimes, and that's the reality, especially in a city like Philadelphia. I don't know that that'll ever change.
I think the majority of fans, though, if you're talking about 51%, are not the fanatical, crazy people. I think it's like there's a faction, like 20%.
Yeah, but there's a 20 on one side and a 20 on the other.
Oh, yes. Oh, no. There is that.
You know what I mean?
Just like in any other thing where there's fanatical.
So that's still 40%.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
But
we just deal with them at different times.
Correct.
A lot of crazy people out there. We're some of them.
Yes, we are. We got to be sickos to be doing this. All right, coming up next, our man Jeff McLane from the Philadelphia Inquirer, Inquirer.com. He'll be able to give us an update on some of the camp battles. Our man Andrew DeCecco, we talked about it earlier, putting out the tweet yesterday that Keely Ringo, he didn't see him take a single rep with the first team with that second cornerback spot up for grabs. So let's get some of the updates from our man Jeff McLane. Coming up next, it is Kincade and Salciunas on this Tuesday morning here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Everybody hits. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies offense, well, they would have made that guy happy last night in their home opener against the Mariners in that series. They won 12-7. They also totaled 21 hits in the game, including Bryce Harper's 2 monster home runs, Trey Turner's first home run of the year. And Turner talked after the game, his 4-hit night, mind you, about the team stepping up in the absence of Zach Wheeler.
Definitely going to hurt a little bit and feel a little bit in here, but we don't have to rely on one person. We can all step up a little bit, and we can all play a little better defense. We can all pitch a little better. We can all hit a little better and play as a team. And I think if we all pick up a little bit of slack, I think we can get the job done.
Wheeler underwent a successful thrombolysis procedure yesterday to remove his blood clot. Still no timetable for his potential return. The Phils will take on the Mariners again tonight. Game 2 is at 6:45 p.m. Christopher Sanchez toes the rubber. Bryce Miller goes for Seattle. Jose Alvarado is also eligible to be activated back from his PED suspension today. The Eagles are getting close to their final preseason game against the Jets. That'll be this Friday. We're also a week away from the day 53-man rosters will have to be finalized. We'll hear from Kevin Patulo at 9:40. We'll talk to Jeff McLane of the Inquirer next. Greg Caserta of MLB Network joins us at 8:55. This update's brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This Tuesday morning, a tweet for you all to enjoy from my man Zach in Old City. Last night, I see Jordan Romano warming up, and his wife can already tell he's getting upset. His wife, quote, "Don't get upset. Maybe he'll throw well."
Oh.
His response, he will do one of two things: walk and load the bases or give up a home run. After giving up the home run, he got up, politely left the room, and then turned back around and screamed, "I bleeping told you."
It's terrible.
Jordan Romano in a 7+ ERA. And Connor, you were confident that he would challenge that. You were confident that if you would go to him in the playoffs, like 2 weeks ago.
Yep. No longer confident.
There's a challenge. I got your back, Johnny. I got your back.
I remember that.
All right, joining us now on the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business, a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. He does such a great job covering the Eagles for the Inquirer, Inquirer.com. Experience the new look of Inquirer Sports, where fans can read, watch, and listen to their favorite reporters and columnists. Go to Inquirer.com/sports. Of course, also has the great podcast, Uncovering the Birds. Our man Jeff McLane joins us. Jeff, good morning. How are we doing today?
Hey, guys. Has anyone asked Topper why Romano's still on the roster?
Yeah. Well,
I think you have to ask Dave Dombrowski that question.
Well, no, and
Just a guess.
Unless there's cue cards there for Topper, he can't answer that.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're all waiting, Jeff. We're all waiting for that answer or the official word when he's no longer on the roster.
Needs to be asked.
Speaking of needing to be asked, I'll ask you, what's the deal with cornerback number 2? Apparently, we had a little bit of a shift in terms of snaps yesterday at practice. Is that correct?
Well, it's kind of been going in that direction, I'd say, for like the last week plus, with Ringo just not getting as much with the first team, and then, like yesterday, not getting any, in fact. So, we'll see, how that plays out here over the next few days. They have 2 more days of practice that will be open to reporters before the final preseason game. Vic Fangio said yesterday that he thinks the cornerback competition and the other competitions on defense will go through the final preseason game, I think, as expected. But, yeah, I mean, Ringo, you guys saw it in the first preseason game, not as much in the second preseason game. We've seen it out here at practice. Just the inconsistency has been an issue. And clearly, I think that's affecting how they're distributing snaps right now. I mean, even Mac McWilliams, the rookie, got a few yesterday. Jacorian Bennett didn't get any with the first team yesterday, but I'd imagine we may see him in there today. I thought he actually played pretty well in the second preseason game. And, most significantly, we saw Cooper DeJean there for the first time at outside cornerback, only in base personnel, and Vic said that it probably is going to take a lot for him to stay there permanently, as opposed to the nickel, in the slot in nickel. But I wouldn't rule it out.
I wonder, Jeff, if the other day we see them going out and making a deal for a wide receiver that I'd like to hear you talk about a little bit. But if this is just going to be one of maybe a couple deals that Howie makes as you go over roster cuts all around the NFL.
Deals, picking up guys off waivers right after roster cutdowns next Tuesday. There'll be movement, as there always is with Howie Roseman. He's already made a couple trades here in camp, a couple minor ones, but nevertheless, he's added some new bodies. I don't know how significant the moves can be, depending upon what the Eagles have to forfeit. They do have draft picks, a fair amount of them, in the next year, or even beyond that. So it's possible that cornerback, safety, those will probably be the primary 2 in terms of the competition. I wouldn't rule out edge rusher. I think that is a position of need in terms of depth. But, I think that we'll see how that plays out. I mean, we all know how he's willing to pull the trigger.
Why is it an area of depth for edge rusher? I agree with you, by the way. That's one of my concerns heading into this team. Is it they're not getting as much as they thought they'd get out of the combination of Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt, or is it more so Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uche?
I don't think they're concerned about the first 2. I'd be in terms of like the experience and whether they've gone out there and proven enough, and if they hit dry spells, what happens. But the depth, Josh Uche's flashed here and there. Azeez Ojulari's come on of late. Beyond that, who knows? But but there's not really an ace at that spot, and you don't necessarily need to have it when you have Jalen Carter in the middle. He'll draw double teams, and to get a fair enough number of one-on-ones on the edges, you're going to win a few of those. But that's a position of great importance in any scheme. Maybe not as much in Vic Fangio's, but yeah, I'm not saying something has to get done before the start of the season, but it may be that they see how that plays out for the month or two, and then as they get closer to trade deadline, that could be when Howie does make the move there.
Jeff, do you find when you look now at the way this team's rounded into shape, the first month of the schedule to be especially challenging, pretty much par for the course, or otherwise? I look at it as a little daunting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to stand back and look at it as a fan or a reporter, I don't think they're looking beyond the first week. But,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, say what you want about last season or how they've handled contract situations. There's still a lot of talent there. That is not going to be a cakewalk. And then you got to go on the road against the Chiefs, and then you got to go, and then you're hosting with the Rams, a team that some people have predicted to come out of the NFC, and the Bucs have been to the playoffs how many years and have given the Eagles their share of travails in their meetings over the years. So yeah, not an easy opening month, but the Eagles want to just get to week one and then they'll move on from there.
The Inquirer's Jeff McLane joins us here on the Comcast Business Hotline. Speaking of trades, the Eagles acquired John Mechie over the weekend. What did you make of that trade? Why the Eagles did it, and what does that mean for some of the other guys that are competing for roster spots at the receiver position?
Yeah, I don't think it says very much about the other guys in the roster. I think it was one of those deals where, hey, give us your guy that we need that isn't going to make the roster. I think it was more kind of the Texans reaching out to the Eagles. Howie's done a lot of deals with Nick Caserta, GM of the Texans. It was probably Caserta reaching out to Howie. Hey, what do you have? We need a tight end. We know you have some depth there. Harrison Bryant, I thought clearly wasn't going to make the roster. They have some other guys there to fill that third tight end spot in Kylan Granson or E.J. Jenkins. Bryant hasn't really stood out. He's done it in the league a little bit, so okay, yeah, we'll give you Bryant, but we need something in return. Okay, well, we have a guy that we don't think is going to make the roster. Mechie, okay, we'll take him. We can certainly use some wide receiver depth. We want to push some of these younger guys. No one's really locked in beyond the number 3 spot. Bring him in. Let's give him a look-see and see what happens. This is a guy that has, the pedigree, certainly Alabama product, former second-round pick, who just hasn't really kind of caught on with the Texans, not really produced much in his first few seasons. Let's see what he can do here, and then we'll go from there.
All right, Jeff. Listen, man, we appreciate the time as always. Keep up the great
16
work.
days, Jeff.
Yep, 16 days where we actually get to talk about the 53-man roster. I'm sure you're excited for that as well.
The roster is 7 days till that, and then 16 days to the season. So we're getting close.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jeff.
buddy.
We appreciate the time.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yep, there he is. Jeff McLane on the Comcast Business Hotline from the Inquirer.
I feel good.
Inquirer.com.
I feel good. You know what I sensed there?
What?
You know how we talk about talking Shefty?
Yes, talking Jeff.
I think that Jeff is just as hard sometimes I think he's harder to read than Shefty. I sense a calm about him, though. That he's like, this team's exactly sort of where I thought they'd be.
Yeah.
I think he thinks they're going to be a lot better in October and November than he thinks they're going to be in September.
Yeah, making some additions
That's how I
at
feel.
some point.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, and you've been talking about that for a while.
I feel
too,
good, though. I feel good.
Trades.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
By the way, our hearts go out to one of our YouTube chat members, J.D. Hampton. I feel bad. He's in OC for his week of vacation.
Oh, no.
And he's got the bad weather.
Oh, man.
There is nothing worse. Well, there's things that could be worse. But
he's not at Outer Banks.
No, and we there's a lot of Philadelphia people that are in the Outer Banks right now.
Well, half of Delco is going to have to evacuate.
And no, it's a sin. But I feel bad for anybody that plans a vacation, puts their hard-earned money down on that vacation. It's like when I went down to Clearwater this past March, we had a cold front. Now, I also had strep throat, which didn't help, but It was 50 degrees while we were there. Like,
you had terrible weather.
You go down there thinking, oh, it's Florida. It's
what did
warm.
I tell you last? I told you the story last week.
Yeah, it was weird, man.
That we had this old man who used to sit at the Springfield Inn at the Carousel, and he would sit there and he would say to us, never go to the Jersey Shore the third week of August. And he always said it. And this guy was like in his 80s, back in the 80s, late 80s.
He lived down there.
And he said, never go to the Jersey Shore the third week of August. So we're going next week.
Yeah.
Because I always have just believed that.
Going off of that.
Stay away with
advice.
Because he was a good guy.
It's a shame. So
hey,
sorry,
never rains
JD.
inside the bar.
That's a good point, man. It's a good point. A hot take. I don't mind one rainy day down the beach.
I don't want it.
When your whole week's ruined, that sucks. But one rainy day, I'm fine with it.
I don't like it.
All right,
don't like it.
Coming up next, we'll continue our discussion on the Phillies and the Eagles. Also, I know a lot of you had been adamant about not wanting Trey Hendrickson. The question is whether or not you want to see him go to some other teams that are listed. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds Insider update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are getting closer to the date where their roster will have to be finalized for the season. We're a week away officially from the 53-man roster cut-down day, and we're starting to get a little more information on some positional battles for the Eagles, and still not getting some on others. So defensive coordinator Vic Fangio met with media yesterday, and of course, one of the first questions he was asked was about the standing of the cornerback 2 battle.
Not yet. I think all the guys are pretty even right now. And Jacory just got here, got a full week last week. Need to give him a full opportunity with the other guys.
So that still feels very unsettled. We'll be keeping an eye on that closely as we get closer to the cut-down day and also the start of the season, only 16 days away for the Birds. But we're seeing some good stuff from some young players on the roster as well. Vic Fangio talked about the growth of rookie linebacker Jahad Campbell.
Yeah, he's been getting better and better each and every week. Like I say, he still has his hiccups, but I do think he's getting better and better and better.
And that's good to hear from a guy who's going to play an important role, especially if Nakobe Dean is unable to go for the first part of the season. The Birds will take on the Jets on Friday in their final preseason game, and we'll keep you updated throughout the week from more news from training camp. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Fleetwood and his golf ball over the weekend?
No.
So Tommy,
Did it fall on his bag of weed, or did it not?
So Tommy Fleetwood had a putt that came and stopped at the edge of the cup. All right. And then it fell in.
Okay.
Camera shots showed that a gnat landed on the ball
and moved it in.
And it moved. It was literally on the edge.
That's sick.
You know how somebody would jump on the green and then the ball would fall in, just for the hell of it.
Sure.
It actually happened.
It's like the end of Caddyshack.
Correct. He moved up from being fifth to being tied for fourth, which made him $80,000 more
because of a gnat.
Because of a gnat or a fly or whatever bug that landed on the ball. The second the bug started walking, because the bug landed on the ball and then started walking toward the direction of the cup, which then made the momentum of the ball go in.
He deserves it, man. He's a really good guy and a great golfer, but he just can't win. It's nice to see him get a break.
They said that.
The $80,000 break. I'm sure.
That's nice. That is a nice break, though.
That's a nice.
Well, they said that he is anti-Moyer indoor-outdoor. He does not like. He wants
all the bugs.
He wants all the bugs.
That's right. You're right.
He does not want.
Helped him.
He's against Moyer. He has a campaign against them. He wants all the bugs on the course.
Man, I won't stand by that.
Don't like it.
All right. So I read an article this morning as the Trey Hendrickson stuff continues to pop up, and we'll check our text line here in a second. Connor said we got a lot of good texts coming in. The Trey Hendrickson saga continues. And I know every time we bring him up, there are a lot of people that are very adamant about not wanting him because they won the Super Bowl last year without a player like that on the edge. I always value improving my roster in any way possible. And I know it could cost. I saw Adam Schefter put out a tweet, a first-round pick and a young player. Doesn't have to be an edge rusher, so it doesn't have to be like Nolan Smith. Okay. It's a first-round pick and a young player. That's what Adam Schefter put out on social media yesterday. So I read an article on Fox, the teams that they believe could be in on Trey Hendrickson. They have the Colts, which that means nothing for us.
They've got money.
They have the Chargers, which means nothing for us.
Right.
The Panthers, I get it, they're in the NFC, but they're not a threat.
Yeah.
The Bears, I'm not worried about the Bears just yet.
I would be worried about the Bears getting Hendrickson.
Okay.
Because they are going to be a problem in the immediate. They could be a playoff team this year. Could be.
Could be. I'm not that far, but could be. I don't see 4 teams in one division making the playoffs. But they also have the Packers and Lions.
That could be a problem
on this list. And I know there are people that say, "Oh, we don't need him. We don't need him. We don't need him."
You can't do it.
I would be scared if he goes to those teams, though.
Commanders is one too, though. That's one. But I'm going to tell you right now is that you can't do it.
Right. No, I'm not saying that the Eagles should. What I'm saying is I worry that if he were to go to a Packers or a Lions team,
I'd worry about it.
I would worry about that.
I'd worry about it because I think more of the Packers than you two do. I definitely think Detroit is one that could be a major problem.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a problem. That'd be a problem if he came here. Let's keep him in the AFC. If he goes anywhere. Yeah. And it certainly sounded last night in the broadcast that people around the Bengals think he's gone. That he's going elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's just at this point, there hasn't been the positive spin on this at all.
What is now being talked about, too, which was interesting last night in the broadcast a little bit, is General Manager Joe Burrow has his fingerprints on this one in that he was campaigning so heavily for the wide receivers to be handled that Hendrickson didn't get his money.
He did also say, I want everybody to get paid like the Eagles do.
But he didn't. He didn't push for Hendrickson. He pushed for his guys, and
he wants his numbers, baby.
And it screwed. I could see you push for Jamar Chase to get paid.
Yeah,
that's the guy you push for, and then you push for Trey Hendrickson.
I still question that. T. Higgins is a tremendous player. I don't push paying both of those players.
Him pushing for T. Higgins to get paid publicly like he did, Joe Burrow. That screams very selfish when Trey Hendrickson's there. You should have been much more vocal for him, in my mind.
All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor?
So real quick, because we're a show of accountability, we had a challenge thrown on me for today's headlines.
What about?
The Denver Broncos were not playing the Cowboys; they were playing the Cardinals. I had that wrong for that story. So hand up.
Oh, very good. Okay,
got to be better.
You know, John and I said during the break, man, he got the wrong team, but we don't want to call him out.
You did not say that.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did, man.
Yes,
Did you
we did.
actually? You weren't. You weren't in here. You
weren't in the room.
So, okay, we'll actually get a
But
text
we weren't going to do something petty that derailed the content of the show.
We weren't going to
on
do
a
that.
misspeak. On a misspeak, we weren't going to spend 3 minutes of the show doing that.
We spent like 15. It's giving us good
Don't
material.
worry, we spent 5 minutes on fake Jeff Hoffman this morning.
Yeah, we did.
What else we got on the text line?
Philly Porty checks in on the Eagles conversation and concerns and says, remember how many questions we had last year going into the season, especially on defense? I'm giving Vic Fangio the benefit of the doubt. He deserves it.
Oh, yeah, and that's why I want it to be clear. Every time I say concerns, these concerns are not enough for me to say they're in a lot of trouble this year.
But if you don't have concerns...
they're not a perfect team. No team.
If you don't have concerns, then you're just being totally Pollyanna.
Yeah, but champagne problems.
No, I don't think they're champagne problems.
Corbell, maybe?
Corbell's crap. Don't drink it.
That's what I'm saying. Corbell problems.
Yeah, that's
you hand me a glass of Corbell.
They don't have. They don't have. This team doesn't have. The problems they have are not champagne problems. When you don't have a CB2 on August 19th,
yeah, it's a little concerning.
That's a major problem.
Yeah, and I still believe in Vic Fangio to figure it out.
I believe he'll figure it out.
But
But could it cost them?
Goes back to the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson thing. Like, sure, Howie Roseman does everything that seems to be right, but I will still question some moves.
Correct.
All right, coming up next. What's the deal with the Phillies? Good win last night and a great outing by Ranger Suarez. But who are they moving forward without Zach Wheeler? And after what we saw Aaron Nola do over the weekend, our man Greg Caserta will join us next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phils mash against the Mariners. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies offense stayed hot last night. Game 1 against the Mariners ended with a 12-7 victory. The Phils 21 hits in the game, including Bryce Harper's 2 long home runs and Trey Turner's first home run of the season. Turner had 4 hits total in the game, and afterwards he talked about the Phillies stepping up without Zach Wheeler.
Definitely going to hurt a little bit and feel a little bit in here, but we don't have to rely on one person. We can all step up a little bit, and we can all play a little better defense. We can all pitch a little better. We can all hit a little better and play as a team. And I think if we all pick up a little bit of slack, I think we can get the job done.
We did get an update on Wheeler yesterday. He underwent a successful thrombolysis procedure to remove his blood clot. There's still no timetable for his return to play. The Phils take on the Mariners again tonight. Game 2 is at 6:45. Christopher Sanchez faces Bryce Miller. It's also the day that Jose Alvarado can return from his PED suspension. The Eagles are just a week away from the day 53-man rosters will have to be finalized for the season. They'll also take on the Jets in their final preseason game this Friday. We'll hear from offensive coordinator Kevin Patulo at 9:40. We'll hear from MLB Network's Greg Caserta coming up next on the latest on the Fightins. This update's brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
At some point the show, I just read an article during the commercial break that was 4 days old.
Okay.
I don't know how I missed this one. Remember the Michael Porter Jr. Comments that he made where, I could see why somebody would bet on,
You mean trying to defend his brother?
Yes.
Yeah.
The NBA has since sort of responded. David Purdom, who does a great job covering this kind of stuff for ESPN, wrote an article about how the leagues have been in communications with sports books to try to remove certain prop bets. Now this is the NBA, but the MLB is doing the same thing, like the first pitch of an inning being a ball or a strike. They're trying to remove certain prop bets. And I wonder if, A, the sports books will be open to making changes, A, because they are partners with these leagues, or B, if they just go, sorry, this is what we make a lot of money off of. It'll be interesting. We'll get into this more as the show goes on.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting.
It's interesting.
Because it's clear it's easy to be manipulated.
Absolutely. All right, join us now on the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. We love this man. He does a great job covering Major League Baseball, doing play-by-play for the MLB Network. And anytime he can to join us to talk about the Phillies, we'd love to have him on as you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Our man Greg Caserta joins us. Greg, good morning. How are we?
Good morning, guys. And going back to how you came out of break, I think that the sports betting companies are going to do the right moral thing because that's what they always do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. That's what they're concerned with.
Absolutely, Greg. All right, so yesterday was a rough day doing the show after the rough news we got over the weekend that Zach Wheeler had the blood clot in his shoulder. And first and foremost, we all think of him as the human first before we start thinking about him as the player and what he means for the Phillies. But then you start thinking about him as the player and what it means for the Phillies.
Then we get selfish.
I'm in a really dark place following that news because their biggest strength was the starting pitching rotation, and you just lost your ace. What did you make of the loss of Zach Wheeler for the Phillies' chances moving forward?
I looked at it the same way I did when the Yankees announced that Garrett Cole would be pitching this season. Like, if there's one guy that's not named Schwarber or Harper that's indispensable to this team, it's Zach Wheeler. So, like you said, first and foremost, you think about the person, you think about the family, you think about the health. To get the news that he had a successful surgery is great. Now we wait and see on the timeline because this is pretty unprecedented. An injury like this is not something that we've seen. We don't know what the recovery time would take. But now we fast forward to the game last night, and I got a chance to watch a good chunk of it. Was there a better time for Ranger Suarez to come out and did what he did last night to at least give you guys and the rest of the fan base 2.5 to 3 hours to maybe just forget about it a little bit? And I think that, again, you're not going to replace Zach Wheeler, and we're talking in assumptions that, well, it's pretty serious. He's not going to be back. We don't know yet, so let's wait on that. But also, Ranger goes out last night and does what he does best. And I've been a fan of his for a long time. I called his games in the minor leagues in Reading, probably in 2019. And you got to remember, this is a guy that first announced his presence in 2022 in the playoffs. And if you look at his run the last 3 years in the postseason, you can make the argument he's been their best pitcher. 3-1 in 10 games, 8 starts, ERA under 2. So let's just say, let's put Zach Wheeler out of the equation right now because he's not part of the equation right now. You'd have Sanchez go in game 1, Suarez go in game 2. It's still a better 1-2 at the top than other teams that are playoff-bound have. So, again, take the offense out last night, and that was spectacular. Ranger Suarez getting back on track, that's a really good thing for this team.
Jose Alvarado comes back tonight. And, we don't know if we're going to see him used or not. But we were discussing this morning what the fan reaction will be. And more importantly, we talked about sort of what it should be. I personally feel he screwed over everybody in that clubhouse. The chances are, what do you think the reaction will be tonight?
I think it's going to be what you just said, and they have every right to boo because this is a guy that was supposed to be a valuable part of their bullpen. And clearly Jordan Romano ain't the answer. We saw that again last night. I think his ERA right now, he holds some dubious Phillies record for having the highest single-season ERA with X amount of appearances. Whatever it is, it's not good. And again, when that news came out, it was like, oh man, this is another thing that this team can ill afford. So I don't normally condone booing. I think it's a little silly. But when things like that are warranted, then yeah, the 40,000 at Citizens Bank Park should express exactly how they feel. And this is a guy, like you said perfectly, John, that listen, he was selfish and he really hurt his team, and I think that warrants an appropriate response.
Greg, regardless of the status of Zach Wheeler, there is still a belief that this lineup, if they get hot, could be dangerous in October. And we all agree that they are dangerous in October if they get hot. My question for you is, do you believe that this lineup, as inconsistent as they have been this year and in previous years, do you think they can stay hot for the entire month of October?
Yeah, I love going back to this on your show and others that I've done, and I've said this, going back and watching the playoffs the last 2 years, post-World Series disappointment. It's really the same thing, right? It's this team gets hot and cold together. It really more, I think, than any other team that's been in that upper echelon the last couple of years. It's very rare that you see them all going or it's very rare that you see a couple of guys off and a couple of guys picking up the slack. It's like 1 through 9. They just kind of ride each other for a little bit. So I think it can apply to any team. If you just get going for those 2.5 to 3 weeks, yeah, there's no reason why they can't. But I could also see it where, they get to the playoffs and that lineup doesn't get going and you're out in 3 or 4 games. I mean, that's also very feasible. But I've always had belief in this group. I know that there are very conflicting sides. You have people that think like, yeah, this team, yeah, they'll be all right. They're still the best team in the NL. I think that they'll get to the World Series. And then there's others that are like, no, they'll get bounced first round. We've seen it in the playoffs, same old song and dance. Again, this is the last year of the window. I picked them to win the NL East. I think as time's gone on, prior to this Wheeler news, I thought that they were probably gearing up for another deep run. So now we're going to wait on Wheeler, and hopefully the Phillies and he get good news on his report.
Do you see a Mets going to be put to bed next week? Sort of like, well, the magic number's 33 today, which is really low considering where, it's where we are in the season. Next week when they play a 3-game series at Citi Field, if the Phillies were to go up and win 2 out of 3, it's pretty much over. Do you think it's going to be a late September closeout of this division now because of Wheeler being out, or do you think the Phils are potentially going to maybe let this thing be interesting for a while?
Man, that's a good question. I think that, again, a couple of weeks ago, if you would ask me this, I would have said, yeah, this thing's going down to the final week. And it's not so much a Phillies thing, but I watch the Mets and I look at a very flawed baseball team. I look at them and say their pitching is very suspect. Their rotation has not been consistent at all. And I look at them and say, I don't even know if they're a playoff team. And I said the same thing about the other New York team. I don't know if the Yankees are a playoff team. Like, I look at them and I think, man, there's so much more out there that's better than what these guys are doing. And I think that if the Phillies can just kind of stay above water for a little bit. And again, the Mets may surprise me. They may go on a 5-week run and go on a run the way the Brewers did. We don't know. But do I believe they're going to? No, I just don't think they're that good. And I think that it's been compounded by the fact that the way they're losing is very reminiscent of some of those old Mets teams. Like, you think back to the Willie Randolph teams that collapsed down the stretch. They're losing in ways like that. And you wonder now if that's starting to permeate into the clubhouse because, listen, they watched a very gettable division slip away a little bit. Like, they already lost one hand on it, and now they're kind of grasping with that second hand. And again, you said it. If you take 2 out of 3 or you sweep, you're thinking, all right, we got this thing wrapped up way earlier than we expected.
Greg, you mentioned Jordan Romano earlier when you were talking about Jose Alvarado. Can you try to explain to me how he is still on the roster? And I'm not trying to be harsh, but let's face it, they brought him in for a mop-up role yesterday, and he still allows a 3-run home run, and you saw having to get some of the bigger arms in the bullpen ready, like Orion Kerkering. Is this just strictly we paid him $10+ million, we got to keep him around? Because there's no way anybody believes he's going to find what he used to have at this point.
Yeah, I think it's two-part. I think it's, yes, we paid him over $10 million to come here and be a contributor. You know, he was supposed to be the setup guy probably, or maybe the closer. He and Alvarado would kind of have a dual role. Clearly that has changed because of his inability to get outs and because of Alvarado not being on the field. But I think watching the game as closely as I do, and it's more about the state of the game than it is what the Phillies look at with Romano. But they look at that brief run that he had this year when he, I guess, shook off that rough first 4 or 5 weeks, and he actually did settle in at one point. I think they look at a sample size like that, an extended sample size, and they say, that's the guy that when he's going right, that's what he can be. So I think that's something like Devin Williams with the Yankees. It's the same thing. Why does he keep going out there in these late inning spots? Well, because they look at what he did for a very brief stretch, and maybe it was consistent over 10, 11, 12 appearances, and they say, yeah, that's what we've got in the tank. Now, it hasn't been there enough, but they feel that that's what is in there. So, you know, they're looking at it and saying, all right, let's get him out there in a mop-up role. Let's get him to build his confidence up, and then maybe if he gets going leading into the playoffs, now we have him again as more of the viable weapon that we envision for him.
I'm sure he's extremely confident after another great performance. Greg, listen, man, we appreciate the time as always. Keep up the great work at the MLB Network, and we'll be talking to you in October, hopefully for multiple times.
Thanks, buddy.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you again, as always. I always appreciate the time with you, and we'll definitely do it again soon.
There he is, our man, Greg Caserta on the Comcast Business Hotline from the MLB Network. It was a great job.
I knew him when. Now a stud, now a star. It's amazing.
Still remembers you, though, Johnny.
I do. That's what he still takes
Trust
my
me,
calls.
still takes your calls.
That's incredible.
All right, coming up next.
He better.
Let's dive a little deeper into this gambling situation.
It is interesting.
Also, is old school new again, Johnny? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid. So why
Real quick, tomorrow we will be speaking with our man Adam Schefter, as we do every single Wednesday. He was on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio with resident Super Bowl champion Chris Canty.
He reminds everybody of that all the time.
And Evan Cohen, and they asked him about the latest with Micah Parsons.
And?
He is comfortable, Shefty, saying that Micah Parsons will not finish his career in Dallas, and if he does play this season, this could very well be the last year for Micah Parsons with the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. Now we'll get the Eagles fans going, get Micah Parsons. Should the Eagles trade for Micah Parsons? No. You know what they should do?
What if he's a free agent and all you got to do is pay him?
No, because I want them to pay Jalen Carter. I want them to be able to have the money to pay their own guys because they're going to have to pay Cooper and Quinion and everybody else, their own guys that they drafted. They're going to have to pay them. So they're going to pay them next offseason, not this offseason, the next offseason after that. So I want that money there for that. No, I'm fine. This isn't fantasy football.
Well, you're also paying another really, really good player. Like,
I got it,
like
but
you're paying a trash
because they're the guys.
Like you're not paying a top,
I'm not.
top
No, but I'm not playing fantasy football. I want a guy that's logical. I want a guy logically to be able to go, I want to sign my own guys because you're not signing those other guys if you sign another high-ticket item like that.
Well, the question is whether or not you value Micah Parsons more than Cooper DeJean.
And I'm saying I do, and I do not.
And that's fine to say. But I'm just saying, like, don't say, like, it's not logical to say I would rather have Micah Parsons than another player.
No, I said, well, you can't have them all, is what I'm saying. It's not fantasy football, so people are like, just go do it.
What I am saying is you are acting like...
Yes, I want the younger players that I drafted on going off their first contracts. That's who I want my money for.
Okay, and that's what you want. I'm sure there are some people that would take Micah Parsons over some of these young players.
And they're going to say, yeah, how will you work it out? It's just money. They're going to be like, yeah. It's just what?
Or
money.
If we ask the question next offseason, after the Eagles win back-to-back Super Bowls.
Which would be great.
We could ask questions, would you rather have Micah Parsons or this player? Because it will come down to the finances of it. I don't think that's out of the question. Like, we can have that. It's whether or not you prefer Micah Parsons or some of the players that you mentioned.
If you can, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, no, the trade thing I don't think is possible. But
right, I mean, the Trey Henderson thing is ridiculous.
Right.
It's absurd.
I got you.
That people are like, yeah, just make that trade. Howie season. I'm like, no, math season. Go do math.
Sure. All right. This article on ESPN, again, 4 days old, that the NBA and the NBA Players Association want to back bet limits to curb manipulation. So a couple things. And these are the accounts like FanDuel, DraftKings, not like the offshore stuff that where you know a guy, you know a guy, you know a guy.
Right.
No, this is FanDuel's, Parks, DraftKings, Bet365, all those. They want to limit the amount of money that you can put down on certain prop bets, the ones that you think you can maybe manipulate, like what the Guardians relievers were able to do. Oh, I can bet that my first pitch will be a ball in this inning, but I can still win the game for us because what's one ball really hurt my outing?
Sure.
Like if you're Emmanuel Clase, one of the better closers in Major League Baseball. You go, I could throw a first pitch ball and still get 3 outs. Best of both worlds. I helped my team win, and I made money in my pocket. They want to put a cap on how much you can put on those prop bets and maybe one step further remove those altogether.
I think put a cap
That's what's interesting.
I think put a cap on them would be the way to go. That would take that away. Put a cap on them, make them that they are like $25 max bets or something. Make them at small.
25?
Yeah, make them small.
Yeah, but then there's going to be the people that do this for a living that go, well, hold on a second. Why should I be impacted by this?
Yeah, because of the corruption. Because that's too much corruption. It's too easy to be corrupt on that.
I think 25. Again, you have to think about the people that do it for a living. You and me, $25.
Okay.
We're high rollers when we bet $25.
Okay, you say 100, then you want to say 100?
Probably more. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of like the people that do it for a living. Like there are people that literally just gamble for a living.
Right.
They're putting down a lot more than $100 on some of these.
No,
bets.
I understand that, but the thing is, they're also the people that you could potentially see could get involved in
nefarious things. Sure.
Or would know the people that would get involved in nefarious
Sure.
things. Or they went to O'Hara, like I did.
Right. I think, honestly, and I said it to you guys a couple of weeks ago, the problem with sports betting when it comes to the athletes, it's not throwing games and throwing series, like they did in the 1900s. It's these prop bets that are becoming the problem.
Well,
I wonder if it gets to a point where they remove them.
Well, it's what we saw with Tim Donaghy. Tim Donaghy was involved with fixing games, point spreads.
Right.
Over-unders. So all he did was over-unders. So they looked at over-unders and said, well, if I blow the whistle every time, I can make sure that this game goes over.
Right.
I can swallow the whistle, and I can make sure this game goes fast and then make sure it goes under.
Right.
And nobody will be able to, unless they had ended up getting the details that they end up getting, no one's going to be able to nail me for it.
Right.
That kind of stuff can be manipulated by officials. That's why when people say, there are a lot of people, and Colin is one of them. Colin Cowherd and I would have many a debate on this when I would do his show, because Colin's one of those people who goes, they're conspiracy theorists and tinfoil hat people think games are fixed. And I'd be like, no. We have documented evidence. We have documented evidence that games were fixed.
Right.
It's like, well, the games weren't fixed, just the point spread was. That game is fixed. That means the game was fixed. That means that the referee said, I'm not going to call as many fouls, so the game was fixed. That means it's fixed.
Right.
If you decide to not call fouls or to call too many fouls, that means you fixed the game. So, to me, I think that they need to watch some of this.
The other part of this story that I find interesting, and it is bad because there are heinous people in this world. The Players Association is also hoping to remove the prop bets because those are the ones where the players get abused the most on. Players are concerned that prop bets have become an increasingly alarming source of player harassment both online and in person. If tighter regulations can help minimize that abuse, then we support taking a closer look at them. Like the bleep you, dude, I was one rebound away from X amount of money, blah, blah, go die. Because that stuff's out there, and it's horrible. And it's not like...
I get you.
It is horrible. Like, the player had nothing to do with it.
I think anybody in a public career deals with these a-holes.
No, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, but like the a-holes that we get, it's not when it comes to somebody's money. You know what I mean?
got you.
And when it comes to money,
to me, that's maybe worse.
When it comes to money, there's people that go over the top, man. All right, coming up next is the old school new again. We'll get into that also. If the MLB were to change everything we knew, like leagues and divisions, what would it look like? You may have an idea. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phillies offense stays hot. I'm Connor Thomas. And the Phillies offense, they were rolling again last night. 12 runs in a 12-7 win over the Mariners. They also totaled 21 hits, including Bryce Harper with 2 400-foot home runs. Trey Turner, first home run at Citizens Bank Park this year. And Turner had 4 total hits in the game. He talked after about the mood in the locker room with the Zach Wheeler news and how the team can make up for it.
Definitely going to hurt a little bit and feel it a little bit in here, but we don't have to rely on one person. We can all step up a little bit, and we can all play a little better defense. We can all pitch a little better. We can all hit a little better and play as a team. And I think if we all pick up a little bit of slack, I think we can get the job done.
Next man up, and Ranger Suarez was very good last night. That's good to see. Wheeler underwent a successful thrombolysis procedure yesterday to remove his blood clot. That's also good news, but still no timetable for his potential return. Phillies play the Mariners again tonight, 6:45. Christopher Sanchez versus Bryce Miller. Jose Alvarado can be activated off his PED suspension today. The Eagles are preparing for their final preseason game against the Jets. That'll be this Friday. We're also just a week away from the day 53-man rosters will have to be finalized for the season. Kevin Patulo, Eagles offensive coordinator, speaks at 9:40. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Connor Thomas, and your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio.
It is 9:27 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. By the way, big shout out to our man Jeff McLane and Greg Caserta, who joined us earlier today. You can hear those again on 97.5thefanatic.com. Coming up at 9:40, Kevin Patulo will address the media. So we'll hear the Eagles' offensive coordinator in a little over 10 minutes. All right. First, yesterday, Rich Eisen makes his return to ESPN, and he did the what time? What's 11 o'clock?
He did the late Sports Center because SVP vacationing.
Yes. So Rich Eisen did the late Sports Center, and that's why the tease has been the old school is new again, because he's back and he's going to start his radio show soon. I thought it was a very touching. I didn't watch it live, but I saw the touching tribute with Stuart Scott.
Yes.
And a lot of their
and they were very
commercials.
Tight.
Yeah, the
they
commercials
were very, very
they did.
tight.
And Rich powered through it. He was getting choked up talking about it. And it was cool. They had the way they worked the TV screen, it looked like Stuart Scott was sitting next to him. Like, it was actually really, really well done by the people at ESPN.
That's crazy
but
stuff.
Yeah, that's a big name back.
It is a big one
now.
Well, he's back to do take his radio show to the network.
Correct.
So that's going to be a big one.
You had a question about that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take Mr. Nagandi off the board. So that way we don't have to pander to Kevin and say we got to have Kevin in it. So Kevin is just assumed he's emceeing this event, so he can't be there. Connor, Andrew, all of us have been given a foursome. And we've been given a foursome in a golf tournament. We get to pick 3 SportsCenter anchors of all time who can join us to play in a golf tournament.
Oh, they got to be SportsCenter anchors.
SportsCenter anchors.
Damn it.
SportsCenter anchors.
Oh, did you just have broadcasters?
I was going to say.
No, it's a SportsCenter anchor.
I was going to
That's
say.
the key.
Shaq, Kenny, and Charles.
No, it's SportsCenter. No, it's a SportsCenter anchor because
I win.
No, it's SportsCenter anchor because he is there,
right.
Coming back to SportsCenter. Who are the 3 SportsCenter anchors that you want?
I think we all agree SVP would be on it, correct?
SVP is in, absolutely, and it's golf. He's a lock because he's fun to play golf with too. I've had that pleasure. Dan Patrick is in mine.
Okay.
Dan Patrick has to be. Absolutely would love Dan Patrick. The 3rd spot's the hard spot.
Couple good options. Kenny Mayne comes to mind. John Butchercross.
Yeah, I would do Kenny Mayne. That'd be a good time. I like John Anderson.
John Anderson's an understated choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's an understated.
He's been there forever.
Wait. Can we technically take Chris Berman?
Sure, he could. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, he
does a whole bunch of other stuff.
There, but he's still employed there.
Yeah, well, and you're not saying right now, right? Like, it could be.
No, you can take anyone all time. You could take all time. Like, if you were absolutely looking for the most insufferable time of your life, you could take Keith Olbermann. You could absolutely, if you just wanted somebody who was just the worst human you could ever play golf with, it would be him.
You know who I like?
Who?
I like Trey Wingo.
Trey's fantastic.
I used to have him on.
Trey's fantastic.
I used to have him on all the time. There was this random juice company. It was like a cherry 100% natural drink.
And Trey did the thing for it?
He was the spokesperson for him, and he would come on like once a month when I was producing for Jason and Harry. To promote the juices. Really? They would ship us containers of them all the time. We would mix them with vodka cran, but it was like,
okay.
Yeah, it was great. Like, we used to have
Wait a minute.
lot of fun.
You're telling me that Harry and Jason were having vodka and crayons?
Yeah.
That's a shocker.
But yeah, Trey is a good dude, but that's a good call.
Dude.
Kenny Mayne's a good call by you, Kyle.
I like Kenny.
That's a good one. If Stewart was around,
absolutely.
Stu Scott could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would be absolutely a lot of fun. I think that's absolutely one that would be. It's just the idea of the SportsCenter anchor.
Yeah, is
a big one.
Oh yeah.
There's but they don't make them. They don't make them like Rich would not be on mine. Would not be on mine.
No,
it wouldn't be on mine. But that's
run Rich run.
No. Wouldn't be on mine.
Could I get Barry Melrose? Does he count? I know he's a contributor, but he's not an anchor.
No, he's not an anchor.
Got to be SportsCenter anchor.
I like to spend some time there.
So,
well,
there you go.
Sorry.
I've enjoyed
Barry. I can tell you this.
He's a good guy.
Barry's fun.
Yeah.
Connor, you think Barry would be in the fun category?
Yeah, I'm thinking double transfusion on the first hole.
Yes.
If we go with Barry.
You're going to have some fun with Barry Melrose.
How has there been an update on his health?
I do not know. I have not heard, but I hope that he's doing well.
Okay.
But he is a hell of a lot of fun as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a good dude. All right. the MLB realignment conversation that we had yesterday, there was who was it? It was Bowden, right? Jim Bowden? Bowden?
Yes, Bowden.
Jim Bowden put out the what it could look like list. So this is what he believes based off of his conversations of what it could do. East-West, as we have talked about, but it would be still broken up into divisions. Kind of like I said, you would have to do for scheduling purposes, like how the Sixers, nobody views NBA divisions anymore, but for scheduling purposes, you need divisions.
Do you even know all the teams in their division?
In the Sixers division, it's Sixers, Celtics, Knicks, Raptors,
Nets,
and I think
Nets.
Nets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those are your 5.
That's good. I mean, they mean nothing. The NBA divisions mean nothing. I don't want to see this happen to baseball. I don't want to see like baseball get where it's like divisions mean nothing or all the big shift. But Jim Bowden's proposed realignment, because he says there's going to be 2 expansions. So there's going to be expansion teams that are coming.
Yeah.
To me, I really don't dig what I'm hearing.
The East, would you call it the East?
The East.
It's not National League.
This is the Eastern Conference East Division.
So the East.
Red Sox, Mets, Yankees, Phillies.
That's disgusting.
Screw that.
By the way,
that's the top 4 payroll teams in the league.
By the way, this
other
is
than
what
the Dodgers.
This is along the lines of what Jason Stark believes is going to happen too if they do this.
Right.
The North would be Reds, Guardians, Tigers, Blue Jays. The Mid-Atlantic would be Orioles, Pirates, Nationals. Jim Bowden thinks Charlotte's going to get a team. I do not.
By the way, that would be a horrible, wretched division.
I think the Braves are going to fight Charlotte big time because I do not think they're going to give Charlotte and Nashville expansion teams.
Okay.
I think they're going to give Nashville's getting an expansion team. And the Southeast Division makes total sense. Braves, Marlins, Rays, Nashville. That makes total sense.
All right, here's what I absolutely despise of this.
What do you not like about it?
And it's not necessarily one for us to care about, but if you're a baseball fan, you eliminate
the history.
So many historic rivalries. So one of the divisions.
No, you eliminate history.
Right.
American League and National League are gone. They're dead.
But I'm thinking about rivalries like Cubs Cardinals in this proposal are not in the same division.
Okay.
That's horrible. Like, you can't have a historic rivalry like that not be in the same division. Now, look, we view the Mets as the big rivalry, and obviously Red Sox, Yankees, we know all about that because people will tell you about that until we can't breathe anymore, that Red Sox, Yankees still is a relevant rivalry.
Oh, no, they shove it down your throat.
But, like, you're moving on from teams that would not be in the same division anymore. Historic rivalries where maybe the players don't realize it, but the fans, like, hate each other. And you would just get rid of that? Like, I hate that.
I agree.
I think too much is made of the 4 payroll teams. 4 of the 6 highest payroll teams in baseball would be in one division. Red Sox, Mets, Yankees, Phillies.
Yeah,
over the past like 15 years.
That's
crazy.
There could be a division of Rockies, Athletics, Mariners, Giants.
That's terrible. And once the A's get to Vegas,
yeah,
that's going to help them big time.
Nothing's grosser than this Orioles, Pirates, Nationals, Charlotte.
That's a horrible division.
That's horrible.
You're going to have under 500 teams winning the division.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That's terrible.
You got to do something different.
Coming up next, Kevin Patulo, offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, will speak to the media. You'll hear that here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Before we get to Kevin Patulo, Johnny, tell us about life-saving cancer research, please.
Yeah, if you need it, the American Association for Cancer Research, they try to help bring it to you because they research every day. Go 975thefanatic.com/AACR, like our friends Pierce Phelps, Bryant's Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors did. They believe in it. You should too. 975thefanatic.com/AACR.
All right, Eagles offense coordinator Kevin Patulo meeting with the media today. Here he is.
Looks like you have a pretty deep wide receiver room. What do you think you can add?
Yeah, I think anytime you can add a player like him to the room, just create more competition, it's great for the rest of the team. Howie does a really good job of just adding good players and adding depth and giving us more options to work with throughout the season because, you're going to need as many bodies as you can, and I think he does a really good job of bringing guys in that can add to the team, and we're excited to have him.
How familiar are you with him, and what stands out most about him?
So I remember watching him, coming out of college, doing a lot of work on him, and then just kind of from since he's been in the league, just his ability to play different positions. He can move around. He's done a good job. He's had some injuries early on, but worked through those, and he's looked pretty good so far this past year. So excited to see what he can do today, especially.
One of his strengths.
Time frame that you brought in Dotson last year.
Mm-hmm.
From that experience, that can help develop him this year.
Yeah, I think really. When you bring a guy in later in camp, right, they just have to be caught up to speed as fast as they can. But with us still having a couple weeks after this week, I think the timing's pretty good. Aaron Moorhead does a really good job. He's been with us the whole time. He knows the system, knows where we're going to go with things. And then he'll be familiar with like Devontae and some of the other guys to lean on. So I think from a standpoint of bringing a guy in, we're in a pretty good spot where he can still pick it up and feel confident in what he can do.
What do you think about his run blocking? And that's a big part of receiver play.
Yeah, so when we talk about run blocking, like the best thing that a guy can do is just give effort, right? And so he's going to be a maximum effort guy. We know that coming in. And then we got to do as coaches, put him in a spot to just not be in a bad position as far as schematically, with a certain body type, one-on-one. You want to always make sure you have certain guys in certain spots. So that's kind of up to us as coaches. But really, when you look at it, it's got to be effort. And, if the guy's going to give a good effort, we can get what we want out of him.
Kevin, Nick can talk post joint practices that the one thing that concerned with the offense was negative plays.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think led to that?
I think really when you do like the joint practices, it's funny because Schwartz and I have talked before and after each practice, and we don't really know what he has in. He doesn't know what we have in. Like we got him on a couple things, then he got us on a couple things, and it was good to do that, to just really kind of not know schematically what they were going to do and what they were working on until.
There's Kevin Patulo.
Little disconnect.
We'll try to tap back into Mr. Patulo here momentarily as he's addressing the media. Excited for John Mechie, but does not worried about the late addition, which is always good. I mean, we saw what happened with Jahan Dotson last year. It didn't look like he was very comfortable early on, and then obviously when you're midway through the season, you're comfortable with who you're comfortable with.
Sure.
And Jalen was obviously comfortable with A.J. Brown, Devontae, and Dallas Goedert. Not a bad crew to be comfortable with. So we'll see how quickly John Mechie gets, sort of worked in here with the Philadelphia Eagles. But look, I know a lot of questions were about Dotson the second that Mechie got here. I still think that Dotson is going to be integrated a little bit more with the offense this year. Not so much, because let's face it, you still have all those other names, but I think we get a little bit more from Dotson. All right, here we go. We got Kevin Patulo back.
Johnny and Gary's whole work here for since the spring. Is there a message to those guys? All of a sudden, maybe a roster spot looks less attainable. What do you have to say to them to kind of not let them get affected by it?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the business. Obviously, we all know that. But I think really when a guy comes in late like he did, like we have right now, this situation is those other guys need to understand, like, I got still another week to prove myself. I got to continue to work through this and do the best that I can. And then from there, the decision's up to, Howie and Nick and everybody upstairs. But I think ultimately, like, the guys understand it's all a competitive thing. And when you look at a back-end roster guy, you're not only competing for our roster, but you're competing for other rosters at all times. So I think it's important. And most guys start to understand that. And those guys, a lot of them are in year 2 and year 3. So I think they pretty much understand where they're at with that.
Tight end.
Oops, sorry.
Third tight end depth. What does it say that you guys were able to unload a guy and about the remaining guys like Tylen and EJ across?
Yeah, I think this year especially we've had a lot of depth in that room. That room and the receiver room, obviously, but in the tight end room, there's different body styles and types in there. And when you look at that room, they've done a good job Jason Michael's a really good tight end coach. I've known him for a while, worked with him. He does a really good job of developing guys and getting them, up to speed with our offense. And I think we have a bunch of different guys in that room that can fill different voids. And some of those guys are good special teams players. So I think when you look at the versatility of what we had in that room allows us to do kind of what we did with that move. But not only that, we feel very confident and comfortable with the guys that are still here.
Last year, when you guys brought in Jahan Dotson,
Mm-hmm.
you were saying it kind of took him a little while to kind of get used to Jalen, get used to the
Yep.
offense. And obviously seeing that, are there things you can kind of take away from that to kind of help John Mechie's adjustment to the team?
I think the biggest thing is he has some relationships with guys on our team already. And so even yesterday, I walked through with him. Once he starts to know that, hey, this is how the offense is compared to what you were, he can start to understand like how the working order is of the verbiage and things like that going forward. And then he'll have some of the guys to lean on a little bit differently, like Devontae, like, hey, what do I really need to know? How's this work? And things like that. So I think there's a little bit of a difference from that standpoint. But I do think, to your point, there's an accelerated ramp-up version that you have to do for those guys, just to get them to practice today. For example, we have to do some things just to see what we have. So I think from him getting comfortable with the offense will take some time, but at least he's got some guys that he can lean on to kind of get him through those little things that have happened for the last 4 years that he may not know about, but we can help him with.
With Will Shipley, he seems to have really developed running aspect, receiving aspect. Where is he in pass protection as far as being able to be that third down guy?
He's done a pretty good job. Pass protection is one of those unique things at the running back position where you got to get reps at it, right? So going against the Browns the other day was really good for him to see different blitz packages, unlike Vic. So he's seeing new things and getting exposed to that, because that's really what it comes down to, is just reps. You just got to see it full speed. We can walk through it, which we do, but like the full speed reps of seeing it, knowing how to do it and what it feels like, because you're working with the O-line, right? You're working with those guys hand in hand on everything. So the communication and or fitting the blocks are super important. So the more he does it, I think the better and more comfortable he'll be with it.
How do you evaluate?
In past years, you had a better sense of those 6th and 7th O-line spots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where's that coming along, and how are you trying to figure those spots out?
Yeah, I know we talked about this last week a little bit. Like, Stout's such a good O-line coach. There's no doubt he's going to get somebody ready to go, and I think it'll work itself out, and it'll continue to kind of sort itself through this week and going forward. So I think we're all confident in what we'll do going forward. We'll have that guy.
How do you evaluate the quarterback play from Saturday's game?
So really, when you look at the quarterback play, like, we had a couple negative plays that got us behind the sticks a little bit. So when that starts to happen, you're trying to play back on schedule, so it's difficult. Unfortunately, as far as reps in practice, we try to get them as many as we can. But this past week was a heavy starters practice, right, against the Browns. So they had very few exposure reps against those guys. So in the game, it was a little bit different for them. Probably than it was the first game, where they were more of a rhythm. They were taking reps leading into that first game against the Bengals. So I think it was a little different for them. Hopefully this week they can get a little more, rhythm and going. But it's hard when you have those negative plays. It kind of can set you back a little bit and push you in a bad spot.
You're self-pedaling DJ's return from the hamstring. When would you ideally want him back?
Say that again.
If JJ's return is being soft-pedaled because of status.
Mm-hmm.
Veteran. When would you ideally want him back?
I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff mentally to kind of, stay obviously sharp and make sure he's good with his game and things like that. And really, that's up to him and the trainers. Whenever they're ready to cut him loose, I think they'll cut him loose. So I know he's staying active within us, staying his mind in the playbook and everything with what we're doing. So I think whenever they feel like he's ready to go, we'll get him back.
Kevin, Darian Kennard's gotten some work at left guard.
Mm-hmm.
What stood out to you about the summer he's had?
He's done a good job, right? So he's had to bounce around. Last year, he's pretty much playing tackle. Now he's playing guard. And you want guys that are versatile. And with him being versatile, I think that just adds value. So continue to kind of move him around to see what else he can do is just going to add value.
Have you already begun game planning for week 1?
We've kind of done a little bit. It's difficult. How these weeks work for us are kind of like fast-paced. Like the other day, we were literally working on 2 practices, a Jets preseason plan for the young guys, and then what we're doing the next week in between that kind of dead period before the Cowboys. So like there's 3 and 4 things happening. That day off that we had, there was a lot going on just for this week, kind of a final install stuff, rep some things in practice today and tomorrow that we want to make sure we get full speed before we get into that game week. So there's a lot kind of going all at once, and we're trying to sort through it. But I think once we get through this week, right, it calms down. We kind of shift our focus, which will be nice, and get ready for the game.
In Tanner's case, what is it about his development that makes you comfortable or confident that it doesn't need full preseason schedule?
I think he's gotten so many good reps, really, and even this past week against the Browns, it was so good to see him against different guys and different rush patterns and, protection things he had to solve. I think that's been really valuable for him. And really, when you look at his whole body work, him getting to play last year in a full game was awesome, right? So that was the biggest exposure he could get to prepare and go against the Giants. That really helped him. And since then, he's just kind of continued to grow. I think him sitting for a year or so really helped his development as well, just kind of understand the pace and the speed of the game and the knowledge. And since then, he keeps climbing, which is great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There's Kevin Patulo, offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. I love the Andrew DeCecco football guy question asking about Darian Kinnard.
Love that.
Love that. I mean, you need that. And plus, that's one of your concerns is the depth of the offensive line. So I appreciate football guy Andrew.
Well, I'm glad I tipped him off to it, and he's now, decided to put it on his radar.
That's what he said. He texted me saying, I'm going to ask a question for John.
He put it on his radar.
Because John, the football guy, made me think about it.
I like that.
Real quick, there was some news that dropped about 30 minutes ago. Not something that totally matters to Philadelphia people, but I'm wondering what took so long. I used to love playing hockey games like on the N64 or the PlayStation. I had NHL Hits. Remember that game?
Oh, my God. The greatest hockey game ever.
And do you know NHL Hits?
I do not know that
It's like
one.
arcade hockey. It's 3-on-3.
Oh, I know the game
And
now.
you can beat the crap out of each other.
You can hit the goalie on power plays and stuff.
There's like MLB Slugfest, NFL Blitz. They're all kind of that same category. Sergei Fedorov is finally getting his jersey retired from the Red Wings.
Really?
You would think that would have happened like a decade ago.
Wonder what went on there. Like that would have been, I would have thought that would have happened.
3-time Cup winner, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I would have thought that would have happened a long time ago.
You would think that would have happened, I don't know, after he retired in 2009.
Wow.
It's 2025.
Better late than never.
No, that's shocking.
Like
That
when I saw Sergei Fedorov trending, I went, what happened? And then I clicked on it, and it was he's getting his jersey number retired.
Maybe there was a
reason why he left.
The organization and him didn't get along.
Maybe
because sometimes that stuff will happen.
It does happen
where they don't get along.
Because he did leave. He goes to the Ducks, then he went to Columbus, then he went to Washington to close out his career. But
did a current long-term player maybe have his number and they waited for that guy to leave to retire it?
91? I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Andrew, do you sometimes pop culture is not Andrew's thing?
Absolutely not.
Do you know the song "Make You Mine"? Connor, do you know the song "Make You Mine"?
I don't.
How about 15 minutes?
What do you?
From last year, 15 minutes. The song 15 minutes.
Probably if I heard it, but I don't know
do you
by
know?
the
Okay,
title.
well they're from last year.
Okay.
Last year's songs. Do you know Madison Beer?
Yeah.
I heard the name.
Okay, you've probably seen her, Madison Beer. Well, they're her songs.
All right, I'll do.
They're her songs. You have 20.
I'll do a quick.
She's
Google.
dating Justin Herbert.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, right.
They are now. Justin Herbert.
She's a beautiful one.
They're now a public couple.
Okay, congratulations.
They're now going public.
To Herbert and Beer.
If you were dating Madison Beer, you would have to take her last name if you got married, right?
Absolutely. I would love to be Andrew Beer.
That'd be sick.
Dude, that's the best jersey to have. Imagine.
Yeah.
In your men's league, your last name is Beer.
Absolutely. So Madison, if it doesn't work out with Herbert,
so you're a dude. You're going to take her name.
610-632-0975. Oh yeah, Beer, Connor Beer.
Connor Beer. That would actually be a good name.
Connor Beer.
Connor
like
Beer.
Spencer Steer.
Yeah, exactly.
Connor Beer greater than Andrew Beer. John Beer's not bad. It's like John Deere.
Johnny Beer.
John's terrible.
You'd have to go by Johnny.
No, but with
John's
the last name, Johnny Beer.
John is
Yeah,
just
Johnny
a terrible
Beer.
name.
No, but Johnny Beer isn't bad. It's like John Deere. It's a tractor.
Yeah.
It rolls off the
just a
tongue
terrible
well.
name. It's just not a great name. You guys got much better names.
You have a fine logical. You have a fine logical name. John is perfect with your personality.
No, it's not. And then no middle name, thanks to Betty and Tom for some reason being lazy.
We can still give you one. What if we put that up for a sponsorship?
No, I already blew it on the $50,000.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't take that.
I still, my daughter will never forgive me.
Shaqtavius.
Shaqtavius would have been on my life. I just wasn't going to do it.
You should have done it.
Hoard
50 grand.
Hoard out for money. I should have done it.
Hell
You're right.
yeah, man.
You're right. Should have
we
done it.
do around here.
Should have
All
done
right,
it.
everybody have a great rest of your
More
day.
indoor, outdoor.
Ray Dunn comes your way next.
Maybe do this.
We'll be back at it tomorrow on Adam Schefter.